Now betting for the sports animal, your afternoon drive. Number 2, men on, Van Nunley and Fred Slow. And in the on-deck circle, Robert Buck D. Gibson.
This is Two Men On.
What it is, Duke City. Happy Thursday, y'all. Hope the week is flying by swimmingly. You're listening to Two Men On, 95.9 FM and AM 610, The Sports Animal. I'm your host, Van Nunley, one half of Two Men On. My other half, I would never ever say my better half, is on assignment up in beautiful and historic Las Vegas, New Mexico, fulfilling his sacred duties with New Mexico Highlands University. Lucky for you, I got some friends in town, baby. Welcome to the third edition of the Van and Friends show, as we bring in a bunch of heavy hitters to take the place of one Mr. Fred Slow and or the third man on, Robert Buck D. Gibson. Thank you for joining us today, Albuquerque. Again, this is Two Men On, and of course we are live from the John Lopez Real Estate and Coldwell Banker Legacy Studio. We are powered by New Mexico Pinon Coffee. We play on Team I-9 Sports. We start our days at the YMCA, and we end our days at Hollow Spirits. Monday Night Football, that is at Howie's Sports page with the boys. And every weekend and every time we're up at the lab, we're sipping on that watermelon walk-off by Teller Vodka, New Mexico's vodka. Got some heavy hitters today. New Mexico United's Tyler Ortega is going to join us. The Mexico Runners and New Mexico Games, Andres Trujillo will join us. Voice of the Lobos, Rob Portnoy, live from Lobo practice, is going to join us. KRQE's best van in town, easily, Van Tate. NBA insider Izzy Gonzalez. Ex-NFL coach, ex-Lobo legend Ned James. And, of course, we wrap up the show with voice of the Isotopes, Josh Sushon, before we kick it right back over to your Isotopes. I left off one name, though. I think I forgot somebody. Oh, of course. It's star of TV and radio, back-to-back-to-back, three-time New Mexico Sportscaster of the Year, KOB TV's very own Brandon Ortega. What's happening, my guy?
Man, I get to lead off that lineup. That's quite an honor.
That's pretty good, man.
That's a packed lineup.
Hey, with that lineup, you're going to score a lot of runs.
With my cousin Ty in the middle of that.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Back-to-back Ortegas. What did I do to deserve all this?
Man. Oh, can I do it real quick? Fred's not here!
Thank you, sir.
Had to do it.
I was leading up to that.
I wanted to do it when you were doing your spiel, but I didn't want to ruin your flow.
No, please. I'm glad you got around to it. What's been going on in Brandon Ortega's world?
Well, this week, it's really exciting because tonight we kick off high school football with 10 games. And then tomorrow's the big dog, 37 games around the state.
Boom.
Our first Friday night lights of the New Mexico high school football season. Another 10 games on Saturday. And, Lobo football's a lot of fun to cover right now with training camp. Coach G's doing a lot of great stuff over there. I was hanging out with Lobo volleyball today. Lobo soccer, women's soccer, has a huge game tonight. I'll be hanging out there as they take on the 6th-ranked Rutgers, so that'll be fun. It's one of those weeks where there wasn't really a day off, because even when I had the day off, there was stuff to do, and you got to get it ready. You got to get ready for the big first New Mexico game day of the season. It always flies by, the off season, and now we have our first show tomorrow night on KOB at 10:30. So it's quite an honor to be a part of that show. It's been going on since 1996. It's the longest running high school sports show for New Mexico.
And this is year 4 for you?
Technically year 5.
Year 5.
For the show. I'm going into my 5th season. So yeah, man. I remember when we first moved here 4 years ago and getting ready for the first one, and yeah, it's a lot of fun.
You're a Cali boy. You love all things LA sports. Your boy LeBron just signed a big deal. How do you feel about that? Do you think he's eating up the salary, or he deserves every penny?
Yeah, he deserves every penny. Yeah, he's one of the best of all time. still one of the best in the league at what, 18, 19. I keep losing count of how many years he's been in the league now. It's pretty unbelievable, the run he's had. It's just a matter if the Lakers are going to fill up the roster. You know, who are they going to fill up the roster with? They got him and AD. They got a couple of guys that are either real young or quasi-veterans like a Stanley Johnson that are coming back. And then Russell Westbrook, of course, did not have a great season at all. How's he going to look? Are they going to trade him? We have no idea. It's I think they've been trying. It just couldn't find a trade partner. So we'll see. I mean, like it's never a dull moment being a Laker fan, whether they're good or not.
Right.
There's always stuff to talk about. There's always stuff to speculate. So having LeBron for another extension, I can get on board with that.
Yeah, LeBron missed the playoffs for only the second time in his career last year. I don't see him doing that again as long as AD is healthy.
That's the big one.
I mean,
yeah, he wasn't healthy last year for sure.
I mean, LeBron James is LeBron James, whether he's 40 years old or not, 39, right?
And Anthony Davis, every year he's been healthy, which, it's been 50-50 on that.
Sure.
But when he's healthy,
Yeah.
he's one of the best in the league too. So
And
we'll see.
people forget that, like, just 3 seasons ago, 2 years ago, they won the friggin'
Right.
ship.
Yeah, it feels like 20 years ago for
Yeah,
a lot
right?
of people. Like it's so easy to forget about the bubble playoff run that they had, and I mean I think it's just as impressive of a run as any other playoff run to deal with something that no league's ever dealt with in that kind of way they did it. So it's going to be an interesting Lakers season as it always is.
And the bubble that played into the Lakers' hands beautifully, right?
Well,
Because you got to rest up. You got to play less games.
Yeah,
you got to go into the playoffs healthy.
And I think you can't put a price. Well, I mean, yeah, they pay the players, but what I'm trying to get to is you can't measure the chemistry. Like you can't underrate chemistry. They had great chemistry that year. They had savvy veterans on that squad that handled the situation great, that were able to prepare themselves for the games and play well in a weird environment of the bubble. So, yeah, but they went from that season to almost a brand new roster in 2021, and especially 2022. It was just a weird deal. So, it's going to be – we'll see how they do this next season.
So I'm with you that LeBron James deserves every penny. He just went ahead of Kevin Durant for the most money earned in a basketball career, and he deserves to be number one on that list. But you got to think that if he wants to win, he wants to add more championships to his legacy, shouldn't he take a pay cut? Like
Right.
how else are you going to – you can't be mad at the front office for not surrounding you with talent if the front office doesn't have money to pay for talent.
Yeah, James Harden made this big deal that, okay, I'm going to take a big pay cut. It wasn't as big as I think a lot of people thought it
Sure.
would be to free up cap space.
So, I mean, $13 million, that's a lot.
Yeah, not
Not in an NBA salary cap.
Guys
right?
like Tom Brady are, they're a rare breed where for most of his career he took pretty huge pay cuts, and just not. It's a very rare thing you see a superstar of that magnitude take that big of a pay cut. And Kobe Bryant kept getting big dollars all the way into his last season.
Yep.
LeBron James is worth every penny. Steph Curry will be worth every penny, however long he plays, especially at the level he continues to play at. There's certain guys that not only their playing deserves that money, but just the amount of money they draw in just being on the team. LeBron's one of those guys.
Let's pivot to your Dodgers real quick before we go to break. We're talking all things high school sports when we get back, but your Dodgers are the best team in baseball by, 5 games?
Right, yeah,
and they're doing
rolling.
it. They're doing it without Walker Buehler.
Right.
They're doing it without
So
Clayton.
he's out for the season.
Yeah, Walker Buehler just announced
That's a
2
bummer.
days ago is out for the season.
That's a big blow. That's going to make the playoffs real tough. I mean, they can win a gazillion games in the regular season, but if they don't have all their big guns in the playoffs, it's concerning. And, I mean, I know they got good depth in the staff, the pitching staff, but losing someone like Walker Buehler is a big deal. So I'm curious how they're going to, step up with him out in the playoffs.
I think they're just as dangerous as anybody, but to me, the Mets are scary.
They
and
are.
the Mets in the playoffs in a short series. If
Any team
you
with
get-
Max Scherzer is scary.
and Max Scherzer
always.
and Jacob DeGrom.
Right.
Like, that's
Yeah.
4
Who's
wins.
looked great since he got back, right?
Yeah. Oh, lights out. Absolutely lights out. I'm excited for the baseball playoffs. Friend of the show, loyal listener, you know I'm the biggest baseball dork on earth, and the playoffs are my time of year. Give me the opening day is my Christmas.
Yep.
Opening day is my Super Bowl. Home run derby.
Are we going to try to set up all the TVs
Oh, yeah.
for the playoff openers since
Yeah.
we didn't get it? Yeah, we got COVIDed out.
Yeah,
for the,
right.
For the opening day.
The opening
So,
day.
yeah, we're going to have to make
shindig.
up for that for the
Yeah,
playoffs
sure.
at least, right?
Yeah, we 100% will.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, for 100% will. You're listening to Two Men On. We are live from the John Lopez Real Estate and Coldwell Banker Legacy Studio. We are powered by New Mexico Pinon Coffee, and we play on Team I-9. We start our days at the YMCA, and we end our days at Hollow Spirits. Monday Night Football, well, my friends, that is at Howie's Sports page with the boys. And every weekend, we're sipping on that watermelon walk-off from Teller Vodka, New Mexico's vodka. When we get back, more Brandon Ortega, KOB TV. We're talking high school
Yeah.
football.
Let's go.
You're listening to 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Dream style roofing tops them all. When your roof's worn out and needs to be replaced, we're gonna do it right, put a smile on your face. There at home, things are looking up when you get your roof done by someone you can trust. Dream Style, a company name that's been around forever. No one does it better. You need a new roof, you know who to call. Dream Style Roofing tops them all.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop. Fish, birds, cats, dogs, reptiles, and small animals. Clark's has built a tradition of friendly, knowledgeable service focused on affordable, quality pet care products and food. Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations for all your pet needs, including an extensive selection of gifts for both owners and pets. 11200 Manal Northeast or 4914 Lomas Northeast. Clark's Pet Emporium is celebrating 50 years. Thank you, Albuquerque, the pet supply superstore. ClarksPets.com.
Turbo Threads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sports shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. Turbo Threads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for Turbo Threads.
The energy landscape is limitless and ever-changing. Cleaner energy resources are crucial to New Mexico's environment. For 100 years, PNM has utilized cutting-edge technology and employed hard-working New Mexicans to ensure that we have consistent, reliable energy when we need it. For life's loudest moments, quietest moments, and every moment in between. We're dedicated to providing you with energy now and into the future. All you have to do is dream of what to do with it next.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
The Sports Animal.
Bloodstain. Come on, yeah. Come on, yeah. Come on. You better give me that.
Back on the program, Albuquerque. No matter how you're listening to us, we're glad you are joining us right now, whether it's on 95.9 FM or AM 610 or the KNML app or the iHeartRadio app or the Listen Now app or Talk ABQ, or maybe you're listening to this sometime in the future on Spotify or Apple.
I do that all the time. Yep.
Or maybe you're watching us right now on Comcast 26 or any number of their streaming services. Hey, what about Facebook Live? Could be watching on Facebook Live.
Actually, that's the main way I listen to you guys, for sure.
Yeah, you always you're heavy in our comment section on the Facebook Live, hitting us.
I'm hit or miss with that. I'm just always listening on Facebook Live because
you're giving us hot takes all the time.
Because I get notified when you guys go live every time.
Nice.
Which I love that. That's it's great. You guys have it all set up. So yeah, and I'll just tune in. Boom.
Yeah, check out Two Men on Facebook and Instagram. We are at Talk ABQ. That is at Talk ABQ on your favorite social media platform. If you want to check us out and listen to us in any of the number of ways possible, but no matter how you listen, thank you for listening. Mikey, you know what I did?
What did you do?
I didn't send you a shout out in the first segment, did I?
That's okay.
I was talking about all these heavy hitters that are having on the special Van and Friends
got the
episode.
Heaviest hitter right over there, dude.
Yeah,
And
the OG big dog behind the glass
You got
pushing
Brandon,
the buttons.
and he's big time, so I don't mind stepping away from the mic.
I feel like such a loser when I'm around Brandon.
Oh gosh,
He's so handsome and talented, and just every way he's perfect. And I hate every minute hanging out with him. I feel like such a pile of garbage. So lucky to have him here. Speaking of lucky, Albuquerque's lucky to have you, my friend, covering all things collegiate and high school and all the great stories you do over at KOB TV. But you're excited, man. You got some high school sports coming. Football starts this weekend.
Tonight, man. In a couple of hours.
Oh, that is so
Games are
sweet.
kicking off right down the road. You got at Milne Stadium, Albuquerque Academy and Rio Grande. Academy had a breakout year last year, so that's going to be an interesting storyline, watching them progress. They're actually our New Mexico game day guest Friday night. So look out for the Chargers on Friday night. And yeah, they're kicking off tonight against Rio Grande. You got West Mesa, Santa Fe down the road at Community Stadium. That'll be a fun one. You've got Atrisco, Heritage, and Sandia over at Wilson Stadium if you're up in the northeast part of town. And the other Metro game is check this out, a battle of uncle versus nephew.
What?
In Bernalillo and Valley. So the Valley head coach who just took over, Billy Cobos, is the uncle of John Cobos, who is the Bernalillo head coach. So shout out to the Cobos fam. That's going to be I imagine it's going to be a great night for that family. That's going to be played at Cleveland because Bernalillo's home turf.
And this
still
is
getting redone.
This is the nephew. It's his first game coaching.
No. The Valley coach, who's the uncle, he just took over as the head coach.
A
long time coach in the area.
But
yeah, he just took over as the head coach at Valley. He's doing some great things there. And yeah, Bernalillo's had quite the nice run the last few years, so that's going to be a fun one to watch. So those are the 4 Metro games. You got 10 around the state altogether. And like I said, 37 games. We were talking about it in the first block. 37 games tomorrow. And a whole bunch of good ones in the Metro.
Which one are you most excited about? What's bringing the most buzz?
Yeah, so I would say the best overall balanced game for me is the rematch of the state semifinals in 6A, La Cueva going out to Rio Rancho. That's where the game was played last year in the playoffs. So Rio Rancho, La Cueva, playoff perennial teams. La Cueva, in a lot of people's books, and I would say in my book too, probably the second best team entering the season, behind Cleveland, who is playing Centennial tomorrow. So if you're in Rio Rancho, you got two games to watch. So that's a lot of fun. Cleveland hosting Centennial, Rio Rancho hosting La Cueva. So yeah, you can never. I mean, it's Rio Rancho is always the heart of wherever the biggest games are, because Rio Rancho and Cleveland, year in and year out. I mean, especially Cleveland hasn't lost a game since 2019.
It's crazy.
Really?
And their
They have
only
not
loss was
lost
to
a
Rio
game.
Rancho, right?
Wow.
They did almost lose to Rio Rancho in the regular season and then pulled away in the state championship last year. So, yeah, look out. I mean, and Cleveland's got a couple of kids committed to the Lobos, including Evan Weissong, who is their quarterback, who will be playing receiver for the Lobos next fall with his brother Luke.
That's awesome.
And they're a ton of fun to watch, offensively, defensively. So we'll see how they start the season with Centennial coming into town tomorrow.
What's going on with Rio Rancho? Like, how did they have the two best programs in the state every single year?
Yeah, you know,
Is
it's
it development out there
right,
with the youth football? How do they do it?
It's a question people have been asking for years. You know, why Rio Rancho and Cleveland are so good. And I think it starts at the top. You know, the administration commits to athletics, not just football. They commit to building facilities for every sport. That's why both those schools are always good in pretty much every single sport, boys and girls. And yeah, football, you know, it starts with football. Cleveland's got the nicest stadium in probably easily the Metro, maybe one of the best in the state. There's some Southeast schools that would probably want their stadiums to be up there, like Artesia.
Artesia has entered the chat. Yeah, they love them some football in Artesia.
Artesia's like, hold my beer.
Yeah, exactly.
They're
we'll
way
show
up
you.
there. Coach Maupin's doing great stuff there with the Bulldogs. They made it to the state finals in his first year as head coach, the alum coming back who won a
awesome.
state title as a quarterback in 2004. So, yeah, but just to answer your question, yeah, it starts at the top. There's commitment. There's always great head coaches there in football. They always build great staffs. There's always, it seems like, former head coaches in their staffs, within their staffs of the assistants and the coordinators and stuff. And yeah, it's no coincidence that those two schools, year in and year out, for quite a long time in 6A, are always in the running.
Well, I tried to bait you to make them say that there's obviously cheating and collusion going on out there, and they're just stealing players from all these lesser high schools and giving them their dad's jobs at the car dealerships and buying their mom's houses like that.
Is that stuff legal now with NIL? I don't even know.
In high school? High school NIL?
I don't even know. You can't. It's hard to keep track of the NIL stuff now. Obviously, it's full blown in college.
Right.
But we were just looking at it on the screen next to you. A high school recruit has just signed with Clutch Sports.
Right. Nuts.
Still in high school, not even in college yet. So, man, there's wild stuff going on in high school and college sports nowadays.
Who's your dark horse this year? Who's your program on the rise that can make some noise?
So I'll go kind of all over the place in classifications. I was talking about Academy. Academy in their classification is going to be quite good. But, I mean, there's a ton of schools ahead of them that are just storied programs. I mean, you're talking their non-district schedule has some of the best teams in the state. Lovington, Portales. They're in their district now. Lovington, Portales is two perennial, not just playoff teams, but championship contending teams.
I wonder how old Urlacher's kids are. When are they going to start playing for Lovington?
His kid's in Arizona.
Is Arizona?
And the Lobos offered him as a
lame.
freshman. Yeah. 4A is going to be a ton of fun to watch. 5A will be very interesting. Artesia made it to the finals. Los Lunas moved up to 6A. Ooh. And, you talk about dark horses. 6A, Los Lunas, the new kids on the block in 6A, they're going to be a tough out. They will be in the playoffs. And they've got maybe pound for pound one of the best athletes in Paul Searmans, who is their quarterback. So, yeah, that would be my dark horse in 6A. I'll go Los Lunas. Craig Hennington did an outstanding job in his first year as head coach, leading them to a state title. But yeah, 5A is a lot of fun. Artesia will be in the mix. Goddard is the top-ranked team right now on Max Preps. Coach White is an outstanding coach. Coach Lynn over at Roswell will have his Coyotes in the mix as usual.
Is Las Cruces going to be strong again?
Las Cruces plays Volcano tomorrow. I think it's a good indication for both Volcano Vista and that's going to be at Community Stadium tomorrow. That's another great one to watch tomorrow. Those two teams are always in the playoffs, and they are starting with a banger and going against each other. So I think we're going to get a good measuring stick how those two teams are looking so far on Friday night.
Who's must-see TV? Who's the player out there that, like, this kid's a D1 talent? He might be playing on the Lobos. He might be playing a Power 5 conference. Who do you have to keep your eye on this year?
Yeah, I mean, I could easily go off the top of my head with quarterbacks, and I mentioned them both already. Evan Wysong is committed to the Lobos. He's the quarterback of Cleveland. He's already said he's going to be playing receiver. And he could be an all-state receiver right now if he shifted over there and they had a quarterback that they thought was ready to lead the team. But he will be quarterback again this year. He does play a little receiver too. So, yeah, easily Evan could be player of the year this year. He always puts up the stats. He's must-see TV. Paul Searmans, I mentioned earlier also from Los Lunas, not the biggest dude height-wise, but maybe one of the strongest quarterbacks. He's built like a truck. He can run with the best of them. I think maybe with Wysong, the best dual threat quarterback in New Mexico. And he's still under the radar on the recruiting front. So I hope his tape gets out there to some, as many D1 schools as he can. That's always the goal for these kids, is to play D1. And, wherever he's playing next fall, if he decides to keep playing football, he'll be a great college football player, whether it's D1 or D2 or and I always tell players, like, don't go D1 or bust. Like, you can get scholarships at other schools.
Absolutely.
I mean, you guys do a lot of great work with Highlands, and there's schools like Eastern and even NIMI, who won the national championship last year. That's a great in-state option for a lot of great players. Maybe we could see Searmans play there if he doesn't have an opportunity that he wants to explore. A lot of great. If you're going to make me pick ones off the top of my head, I'll go Wysong and Searmans. I just have a blast watching those two play. They're really good.
The pandemic has been slowed down a little, I guess you could say. Have you seen numbers climb because of the pandemic slowing down a little in some of these schools?
Yeah. I think every school is trying to get those numbers back up, and I think it's just going to take more time. Yeah, especially in New Mexico, they were already behind the curve on exposure, and all these teams are trying to get as much exposure out as they can.
OG Day One, friend of the show, friend in real life, KOB TV's very own Brandon Ortega. Where can the friends of the show follow you, find you, watch you, see you?
Well, tonight I'll be out in the field. I'll be over at Milne Stadium watching Academy in Rio Grande, and then I'll hop over to UNM to watch the women's soccer team take on number 6 Rutgers. So we'll be on KOB4 tonight at 10 o'clock, and then tomorrow night is New Mexico Game Day's return, longest-running high school sports show in the state. 10:30, we kick that off.
Football.
Yeah, get to host it for another season. And, high school sports galore. It's not just football. You got soccer, cross-country, volleyball. We're going to try to cover as much as we can.
The best in the biz, Brandon Ortega. Thank you so much for joining the program, my friend.
Love you, dude.
When we get back, New Mexico United's Tyler Ortega. Going to have some fun talking black and yellow when we get back. You're listening to 2 Men On 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Dream Style Roofing tops them all. When your roof's worn out and needs to be replaced, we're gonna do it right, put a smile on your face. There at home, things are looking up when you get your roof done by someone you can trust. Dream Style, a company name that's been around forever. No one does it better. You need a new roof, you know who to call. Dream Style Roofing tops them all.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop. Fish, birds, cats, dogs, reptiles, and small animals. Clark's has built a tradition of friendly, knowledgeable service focused on affordable, quality pet care products and food. Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations for all your pet needs, including an extensive selection of gifts for both owners and pets. 11200 Manal Northeast or 4914 Lomas Northeast. Clark's Pet Emporium is celebrating 50 years. Thank you, Albuquerque, the pet supply superstore. ClarksPets.com.
Turbo Threads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sport shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. Turbo Threads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for Turbo Threads.
The energy landscape is limitless and ever-changing. Cleaner energy resources are crucial to New Mexico's environment. For 100 years, PNM has utilized cutting-edge technology and employed hard-working New Mexicans to ensure that we have consistent, reliable energy when we need it. For life's loudest moments, quietest moments, and every moment in between. We're dedicated to providing you with energy now and into the future. All you have to do is dream of what to do with it next.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth that's real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at...
Welcome back, Duke City. You're listening to 95.9 FM and AM 610, The Sports Animal. And of course, the program in question is 2 Men On. If you're a first-time listener, welcome. 2 Men On would not be here without our community partners and sponsors. One of them being New Mexico Pinon Coffee, and New Mexico Pinon Coffee has been a OG day one, ride or die friend of the show. And we just helped them broker a new partnership with Locker 505, another friend of the show. If you don't know, Locker 505 is a clothing bank that helps Albuquerque's youth get the nice clothes they need to attend school and handle biz like they're supposed to. Go to school with dignity and respect so they can get their education. Locker 505 is looking for donations of new or gently used clothing. and the nice people at New Mexico Pinon have offered to be one of their donation banks. So if you have a donation of new or gently used clothes, and by the way, underwear and socks, Mikey, have to be new, okay?
Oh, yeah.
No dirty underwear.
Yeah.
Okay, they don't want your dirty underwear. I don't care how special it is to you. Only sealed in the bag, underwear and socks. But anything else, they're looking for hoodies right now, by the way. Bring your donation by any New Mexico Pinon location, and you'll get 10% off of your order, whether you're buying coffee in bulk, or you just need one little quick latte on the go, or you need some of that sweet, sweet New Mexico Pinon merch. And they'll do you one better. Donate and share your donation on social media and tag Locker 505 New Mexico Pinon Coffee. They will give you 25% off. Is that the deal of the century?
Sounds pretty good to me.
And I'll do you even one better. If the boys are there, which we're going to be once a week, just show up and donate, and we'll give you coffee. We will straight up give you coffee for free while the boys are there. Otherwise, you're going to have to donate and then just get a healthy percentage off. And I'll tell you what, if you have a really nice donation or you bring some items that they really need, there's a really good chance New Mexico Pinon might just give you some free swag. Might just give you some free coffee. Or
I'll
give
tell you,
a-
that coffee that you brought to the studio last night was awesome. Man.
We're so thankful for our friends of the show. So help out New Mexico Pinon Coffee, who is helping out Locker 505. We really appreciate their partnership and friendship. Speaking of friends, on the Sports Animal Hotline right now, we have voice of your New Mexico United, Tyler Ortega. What's happening, my guy?
Van, what's going on, man? We're drinking the coffee here. You know, we had a late night at the lab last night. It didn't exactly go how we wanted it to, but we're fully focused. Looking forward to Saturday, man. We're right back at it.
Yeah, let me see. I got the countdown right here. We are 2 days, 2 hours, 22 minutes, and 33 seconds away from your New Mexico United's next match. Make sure you get out there on Saturday and support the black and yellow. Tyler, it seems like we had this magical run in the middle of the season, but the boys are hitting a little schneid right now. What's going on with the dudes?
Yeah, I mean, you look at their recent run of form, picking up only one win in their last 5 games. In fact, they've lost 3 out of the last 4. 3 straight at home. From what I can tell, that's the first time in club history that they've lost 3 straight games at home. And you know, I'll be honest with you, from what I can see, they're struggling to score goals. And not only that, but they're having these lapses, you know, over a 10-minute span where you see the opposition score 2 goals. And whether that's against Sacramento at the lab, you know, a couple weeks ago where United score and they go up 1-0, and then the next thing you know, 10 minutes later, they're down 2-1. Or if you look at what happened just last weekend against LA Galaxy 2, where they're up 2-0 and have a bad 10-minute stretch, and the next thing you know, they're tied 2-2. You know, as Zach Prince said last night in the post-game press conference, we're close. We just got to clean up the mistakes on our end, and it's all going to start falling together.
So I see a lot of different rosters the last few matches. I mean, it seems like there's 11 different dudes out there all the time. Do you think the roster, like we're getting closer to the end of the year, we really need to hit our stride? How do you envision the roster shaping up the next few matches?
You know, the one thing to take into account is the number of matches that these guys have been playing in such a short period of time. Right. Just this week, we're already at the second time this season playing 3 matches in 6 days. So you can only imagine how taxing that is on the body. Obviously, playing, you know, and traveling as well. You got to take that into account. So, you know, in all honesty, I think the depth that we have is kind of a blessing and a curse, right? Like we're able to put out these strong lineups night after night after night, but in turn that kind of trades off with the chemistry that we're sacrificing, right? But we're also bringing in some new players, some old players that are new to the squad, like Kevon Frater, who we saw last night. So, you know, I'll be honest with you, I was talking to a couple of other guys that, you know, cover the team, and, you know, they're a little bit more optimistic. I'm a little worried, man. You know, with it coming down to crunch time, like you said, United, they seem to be going the opposite way of where they need to be going at this time right now. But with that being said, if there's anybody that's going to be able to figure it out, I think it's Zach Prince. Devin Sandoval had a great game last night, as did Kevon Frater. Armando Moreno looked sharp in his first start since coming back from the injury last night. So, 10 games to go. I'm not 100% worried right now, but I think I'm keeping the panic button a little bit closer.
And you mentioned Devin Sandoval and what a journey he's been on. It kind of like came to a head last night as he started for the first time in quite some time. What was it like in the locker room? What was it like in the stands knowing that New Mexico United, Albuquerque, we got our boy back?
It was incredible. And I can only speak from the standpoint of what I saw from the press box, right? But the energy in the lab last night was absolutely just top of the charts, like always. But it was a Wednesday night. It's a school night. We had about 7,500 people there, which is great, by the way. But it felt like there was that full 12,000 there. Every time Dev got up for a header, he had a few opportunities to put a shot on goal. There was a few chances where he was just an inch away from getting a toe on the ball. So the energy at the lab last night, it was promising. The way that him and Kevon Frater were able to link up, it was almost like they've been playing together, for the last 4 years. So all in all, it was a really good performance last night, I thought, from Devin Sandoval.
How's the black and yellow going to match up on Saturday?
Saturday, well, all right. So Saturday, it's interesting, right? So you can look at the game that they just had last night against Memphis. Memphis is a very, very good team, as evidenced by the scoreline last night. They're second overall in the Eastern Conference, only behind Louisville. So Memphis is a really good squad. Monterey Bay, on the other hand, it's their first season in the USL Championship. They're in the Western Conference with United. These two teams have already played each other once earlier this summer. Monterey Bay scored early. I think it was like one of the first few plays of the match. They scored in like the first minute. New Mexico able to come back and see out a draw there. But for New Mexico, if they're going to be able to not just make it into the playoffs in good form, but the ultimate goal here is to finish in that top four at the end of the year to host a home playoff game, they've got to be able to bag the 3 points in games like this. Now, saying that, Monterey Bay, they're 11th right now out of 13 teams in the Western Conference, but they're in form. They've won 4 out of their last 5. So New Mexico, they can't overlook this Monterey Bay side because they've been reeling off results recently.
Your New Mexico United, one single solitary point behind the 4th seed Sacramento right now. So like you mentioned, 7,500 people were at the lab on a Wednesday night. School just came back. Crowds all across, stadiums all across the USL would be jealous of those numbers, and that's a bad night for us. Can you talk a little bit about the culture of New Mexico United and how we've established basically the place to be in Albuquerque?
Yeah, and I feel like I can offer a little bit of a unique perspective, having been here with the club since year one. In those early stages when the club was announced, and we said Devin Sandoval is going to be our first player, and we started announcing more and more players. We were, as a front office, we were kind of sitting here like, how are we going to get to 6,000 fans every game? That was sort of our internal benchmark. And the next thing we know, we get to opening night and there's 10,000. And as the season goes on, we sell out the lab a couple times at over 15,000. And I think that's just a testament to the community, the fan base that we have here, that they were really looking for something to rally around and support. And I think the way that New Mexico United has come into the community and really invested in the community, that we're seeing the community invest back. And while we are a soccer team here, we only play soccer 17 times a year. It's what we do in those other 300 whatever days that really define this as a club. So we try to capitalize on that, invest in the community, and you see it, man. 7,500 on a Wednesday night. It speaks for itself.
Tyler Ortega, Somo Unidos, baby. Anything else before we let you go?
Big match tonight. UNM women starting off the season taking on number 6 Rutgers. 7:30 kickoff. So if you're not doing anything, either check it out or make your way on down. It's a big match for the ladies.
Tyler Ortega, thanks for being a friend of the show. We'll be talking to you soon.
Good to talk to you guys.
When we get back, we went from soccer on the pitch to soccer indoors next as owner-operator of your New Mexico Runners and CEO El Presidente, I don't know if I got his title right, of the New Mexico games. Andres Trujillo joins us when we get back. You're listening to 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Dream style roofing tops them all. When your roof's worn out and needs to be replaced, we're gonna do it right, put a smile on your face. There at home, things are looking up when you get your roof done by someone you can trust. Dream Style, a company name that's been around forever. No one does it better. You need a new roof, you know who to call. Dream Style Roofing tops them all.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop. Fish, birds, cats, dogs, reptiles, and small animals. Clark's has built a tradition of friendly, knowledgeable service focused on affordable, quality pet care products and food. Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations for all your pet needs, including an extensive selection of gifts for both owners and pets. 11200 Manal Northeast or 4914 Lomas Northeast. Clark's Pet Emporium is celebrating 50 years. Thank you, Albuquerque, the pet supply superstore. ClarksPets.com.
Turbo Threads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sport shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. Turbo Threads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for Turbo Threads.
The energy landscape is limitless and ever-changing. Cleaner energy resources are crucial to New Mexico's environment. For 100 years, PNM has utilized cutting-edge technology and employed hard-working New Mexicans to ensure that we have consistent, reliable energy when we need it. For life's loudest moments, quietest moments, and every moment in between. We're dedicated to providing you with energy now and into the future. All you have to do is dream of what to do with it next.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1.
And the Sports Animal. Special Van and Friends episode today, and joining us now, well, he basically runs the New Mexico Olympics. He started it, he created it, he curates it, he does absolutely everything. OG friend of the show, Andres Trujillo. What's happening, my guy?
My brother from another mother. Hey, you doing? That was an amazing intro, I might say.
Oh, well, you deserve it, my dude.
You're rolling out that red carpet for me, bro.
I mean, how long has the New Mexico Games been around? Like, you totally created it, right?
I mean, I wish I could say that, but there are many of individuals that have been very influential in New Mexico sports, and they created it back in 1989.
Ooh. Okay, one of the biggest regrets of my life happened quite recently as I missed the arm wrestling competition at the New Mexico Games. Man, how did that go?
That went phenomenal. We had almost 200 entries. I mean, we were over at the Dirty Bourbon last Saturday, and there were over 150 spectators, and it was an excellent turnout. And New Mexico Games hadn't had arm wrestling since 2019.
That's so sweet.
So there really was a 3 years since we've had it. And it just was incredible. And I mean, the athletes came from all over New Mexico, Texas, Arizona, Colorado, and it was just an excellent turnout last Saturday.
So what's coming up next?
So we have pickleball on deck for this weekend, and that serves up the excitement tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. over at Manzano Mesa Pickleball Courts.
I love me some pickleball.
I'm
more...
You know what?
Go ahead.
You got to try it, no matter what. Like, people ask, what in the world is pickleball? And the best way I can describe it, right, is you got wiffle ball, ping pong, and tennis put together, right, in a smaller court. But, man, the competition is fierce.
So no one can sign up for any of these events anymore, right? It's completely closed to the public.
Correct. Yeah, pickleball registration closed up shop earlier on Monday. We have 270 participants this weekend.
What?
Yeah. Up from last year. Last year we had 145.
That is impressive. That is wildly impressive.
Yeah.
What is still open to register for? What can people still get into if they got that
itch
to participate?
We only have a couple of events left for the 2022 season. We have archery taking place over at the archery shop on October 29th. So that one's that you can register the day of, but I wouldn't recommend because that does fill up. So you definitely got to get online and register for our archery event, which is really great. An archery shop, give them a shout out over off of Carlisle. They're just an awesome partner. And then after that, and actually kicking off in September is bowling. So we have bowling that the qualifiers run from September 1st through the end of September, and then the semifinalists run October, and then our finalists run in November. So if any bowlers out there you want to compete in the New Mexico Games, you could definitely sign up over at 10 Pins and More in Rio Rancho starting September 1st.
All right, how much can I drink and still participate in bowling? This is a real question.
Well, 10 Pins and More has a bar, so a full-service bar. So it's to your heart's content and enjoyment.
Love it. All right, I'm missing me some NM runners, baby. When's the runner season come back?
Oh, buddy. We all just flew up to Chicago earlier this week, met with other teams, and then just meetings and meetings upon meetings. And looks like we'll hopefully get our schedule situated by September, beginning of September. And it looks like from what we have here, our first home game will be on January 7th of 2023, but we will start our season December of this year.
How excited. Get out to Rio Rancho Event Center and support your New Mexico runners. That's like one of the funnest things to do. Number one, it's like one of the best affordable, family-friendly things to do. And also, you got to get out there and meet Rio.
Rio the Roadrunner. I like to call him the Mickey Mouse of New Mexico, one of the New Mexico's top, most favorite mascots in the sports world here. And, it's just we're excited because this is our fourth season coming up. And, we're all about family. We just took home the Albuquerque Business First Family Awards, Business Awards.
True
yeah.
Andres Trujillo fashion. You beat me to my next question. Tell me more about this. This is awesome, man. I've never been happier for anybody than you guys right now.
Yeah, it's great, and I just got to give a shout out to my family for really stepping up and helping me accomplish what we're doing here in our community. My wife first and foremost, of course, my mom, who's our ticketing director, my aunt, who's our fan engagement director, my sisters, they help out during game days, nieces and nephews. It's just my dad, Conrad. Everybody just comes together, and we all do it because it's for the community. And we know by us doing what we do, we definitely let the light shine and show others that they could do the same together as a family. So, this project is so important to me and my family.
And you guys do it so amazingly, and the Albuquerque and Rio Rancho communities absolutely appreciate it. NewMexicoGames.org, nmrunners.com. Andres Trujillo, thanks, my friend.
Hey, buddy, I appreciate everything you guys do, Van, and, I know Fred, and you guys just do a great job with everything and really, really get behind our local sports community. So I got to say thank you to you guys.
Oh, appreciate you, brother. Appreciate it so much. When we get back, we're talking some NFL football. 1 hour in the books. You're listening to Two Men On 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Dream style roofing tops them all. When your roof's worn out and needs to be replaced, we're gonna do it right, put a smile on your face. There at home, things are looking up when you get your roof done by someone you can trust. Dream Style, a company name that's been around forever. No one does it better. You need a new roof, you know who to call. Dream Style Roofing tops them all.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop. Fish, birds, cats, dogs, reptiles, and small animals. Clark's has built a tradition of friendly, knowledgeable service focused on affordable, quality pet care products and food. Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations for all your pet needs, including an extensive selection of gifts for both owners and pets. 11200 Manal Northeast or 4914 Lomas Northeast. Clark's Pet Emporium is celebrating 50 years. Thank you, Albuquerque, the pet supply superstore. ClarksPets.com.
Turbo Threads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sport shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. Turbo Threads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for Turbo Threads.
The energy landscape is limitless and ever-changing. Cleaner energy resources are crucial to New Mexico's environment. For 100 years, PNM has utilized cutting-edge technology and employed hard-working New Mexicans to ensure that we have consistent, reliable energy when we...
Your afternoon drive. Number 2, men on, Van Nunley and Fred Slow. And in the on-deck circle, Robert Buck D. Gibson.
This is Two Men On with Van Nunley and Fred Slow.
Welcome back, Duke City. You're listening to Two Men On 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal. It's quitting time, baby. 5 o'clock on the dot. Congratulations, Albuquerque. You made it through another work day. Fred's not here. It's a Fredless Thursday. His co-host Fred Slow is out on assignment in beautiful, historic Las Vegas, New Mexico, doing his bidding for New Mexico Highlands University. Lucky for me, I got the boys in town. Not only Mike Vitale is here, but we got a ragtag bunch of heavy hitters coming on the program today. And next up, friend of the show, friend in real life, owner, operator of my favorite place to grab a happy hour cocktail, Frank Holloway of Hollow Spirits. What's happening, my guy?
Hey, I'm doing good. How you guys doing today?
Doing good, man. Having a lot of fun with it. 2 more hours of the program to go. Having a lot of fun. A lot of great guests. And what's going on in the Hollow Spirits world, Frank?
Actually, I like how you said it's the end of everybody's day, and my day is just starting. So thank you for that. You know, it's different days for different people. So appreciate some of us who are out here working late into the night, drinking whiskey and having cigars.
Oh, boo-hoo. So every third Thursday of the month, which would happen to be tonight, is the Whiskey and Cigar Night. So is just this the teaser right now for the friends of the show and loyal listeners, or is there an actual spot open tonight, or do they have to wait for the next one?
We do have 2 more spots available for tonight, but you would have to get here kind of quick. It's starting at 6 o'clock.
Boom, 6 o'clock. You heard it. You just got off work. Yeah. Get in your car, drive right to Hollow Spirits, and if you're the first 2 people there, go get yourself a Whiskey and Cigar Night. It's upstairs on you guys' beautiful new 2nd-story patio. You guys match cigars with some of your spirits made right there in-house. How did this idea come to fruition?
I don't know. There's just especially on a rainy day, there's just something about drinking a glass of whiskey and having a cigar. And I enjoy it, and I figured other people would really enjoy it. So we started putting it out in the universe, and it seems like people really like it. So we're going to continue because we've been selling close to selling out every single time. Actually, I have a real quick question for you. We were talking about a name change because it's Whiskey and Cigar Night that we have right now, but we don't always do whiskey. Tonight, we are going to do a whiskey rye that we're pulling directly out of the bottle, but we're also doing a barrel-aged rum. So we were thinking something like, what is it, Smokin' Wood or something like that? What do you think about that name?
Oh, that's pretty good. How about Stogies and Spirits? Just
Stogies and Spirits? I kind of like that one. Spirits and Stogies.
At Hollow Spirits, the best place to be. Downtown on 1st Street, just a shade north of Mountain. Man, you guys have all these awesome events coming up. Of course, we got New Mexico United watch parties with the boys. Van and Fred are there every time New Mexico United is on the road. We party down on the big screen at Hollow Spirits. And also, you guys got bartending classes. The next one is this Sunday.
Yeah, so any bartending classes, we're doing it every third Sunday of every month, but that one you have to get in way in advance. Like we are completely sold out for this Sunday, and we're already halfway sold out for next month. So it's with Z, one of the best bartenders, I think the best bartender in the state. She goes, makes a couple cocktails with you, and it's just amazing. People love it. But that one, I recommend doing that way in advance because we sell out quick for that one.
And it's just like catch and release, right? You make the cocktail, you immediately have to pour it out, right?
No, you get to drink it.
Oh, what? You get to drink it?
We do not believe in alcohol abuse here.
Oh.
Like, we don't have that many resources in New Mexico, so we need to take advantage of any resources that we have.
So, new happy hour. Is this breaking news right now?
Yeah, actually, I think we're starting it this week.
Bum, 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 bum. At Hollow Spirits, which is my favorite place for happy hour, $3 off cocktails, $2 off beer and wine. That's practically giving it away.
Yeah, no, and then the cocktails that we have, if you haven't been here, I mean, we're talking about the best cocktails in the state. And so we did want to get it like a little bit for the after work crowd, get them, everybody works hard for their money, especially with prices and everything spiking, so we want to give a little break to some folks.
So I'm really excited for this, and I've got to sample the first 2 weeks of this. But new chef LP, they're cooking up some weekly specials back there. Last week was chicken parmesan. This week is a special salmon. Tell us about the weekly special this week.
So it is a salmon by LP. What he's really doing is just trying to get creative. It's kind of our way of just letting the employees and the staff do what they want. Like, one thing that I always hated when I was bartending was doing the same thing every single day, and they never let me get creative. And so now we kind of give LP free reign, and then they're gonna rotate in the kitchen and in the front of the house who kind of makes the special. And just let people get creative. It's boring to do the same thing all the time.
And it's not only Chef LP in the back, but also the bartenders have free reign, and they're making a cocktail to match the food special.
Yeah, and a lot of times what they're trying to do now is they're trying to use the spirit in the food item and in the drink too. So I think this week, isn't it I believe it's the Red 96 whiskey. I could be wrong on that. But they kind of did a sauce with it, and then it's also in the drink too. So they're getting kind of creative with everything, and then able to use the liquor that we make here in order to make the food and drinks fantastic.
So the drag brunch, not this Sunday, but next Sunday. I think this is the only event that I haven't attended yet, and I really got to get one of these in on the calendar. But what's going on with drag brunch?
Okay, so this drag brunch kind of makes me nervous. Samantha, our events coordinator, and Tsunami, the drag queen, they talked me into getting a 2-story water slide.
Oh, here we go.
For this. Yeah, so I'm not exactly sure how that's going to work with makeup, but we'll see. But yeah, we're going to have a brunch out there set up for people. Chef LP is setting up everything for the brunch, and then they're going to have plenty of performances, and somehow I think Tsunami is going to try to do a performance and go down the water slide, so we'll see what happens with that.
I've seen Tsunami live and in person at drag events and comedy events, and she's absolutely captivating, and if I wasn't already booked, I'd be at this one, but I definitely got to check out the next one. Anything else?
No, we're going to have...
Go ahead, Frank.
Plenty more, so whenever you get a chance.
Anything else we need to tell the friends of the show, Frank?
No, I'm just getting nervous because the 49ers, there's a lot of positive talk about them, and I'm a 49ers fan, and being this positive makes me nervous.
Well, are you...
So outside of that, no, we're good, man.
Are you a Trey Lance or Jimmy G guy? Is Biggie or Pac in this situation?
Cannot say that I am a Trey Lance fan yet, but I'm definitely not a Jimmy G fan. Oh, but speaking of Biggie and Tupac, at the end of the month on Friday, we are going to have 2 DJs here, one on our top floor and one on our bottom floor, and they're going to do East Coast versus West Coast.
Oh, that's brilliant.
it kind of depends. Like, it doesn't have to be specifically just Biggie versus Tupac, and I do want them to get creative. I don't want them to stick exclusively to rap, but I think we're gonna settle the debate on this. It's the 30th, I believe, the 26th.
26th. All right, love it. I'm putting
26th,
that.
yeah.
I'm putting that in my calendar right now for sure. Frank
so you're gonna
Holloway
have to come and vote who you think's doing the best.
Well, I mean, except for Biggie and Nas, I kind of lean West Coast. So I might not be coming in too impartial, but I'll let the DJs prove me wrong.
Yeah.
Frank Holloway, owner operator of Hollow Spirits. Appreciate you, my dude.
Hey, thank you, man. You guys have a good night.
Hey, Vital, that's a good dude right there. Like Frank was able to survive COVID. Like, that is wildly impressive. And I don't mean he got COVID and survived. I mean his business survived COVID. The fellowship and camaraderie there in between front house and back house and ownership, it's awesome. It's a fun place to work, and you could see it on everybody's face when you're there at Hollow Spirits. Everyone always has an absolute blast. Always check out the boys doing the New Mexico United watch parties right there at Hollow Spirits. Anytime New Mexico United is on the road, we got the big screen down. We got the speakers on. We're having some fun. We're telling some jokes. We're doing some giveaways. We got gift cards every time. We got merch every time. We got entrances into the bartending class every time. We got entrances into whiskey and cigar night every time. So come have some fun with the boys.
Stogies and Spirits.
Spirits and Stogies. That's pretty good, right?
I like that. It's got a little catch to it.
Stogie, I think, has like a negative connotation. I think Stogie is like a bad cigar. But I think it's got a nice ring to it.
I used to go to cigar bars when I was living in Vegas, Nevada, and so I love cigar bars. And with a good drink, man.
And you get plenty of good drink right there at Hollow Spirits. Some of the best cocktails in the city, if not the best cocktails in the city. You know what? Forget it. State. I didn't mean to say city. State. You should come from all around New Mexico, all around the Southwest, to come check out Hollow Spirits. We love them being a friend of the show, and we are ride or die with Hollow Spirits. When we get back, voice of the Lobos, Rob Portnoy. We're talking some football. He'll be live from Lobo practice right now in real time. You're listening to Two Men On, 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal.
This is brought to you.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Dream Style Roofing tops them all. When your roof's worn out and needs to be replaced, we're gonna do it right, put a smile on your face. They're at home, things are looking up when you get your roof done by someone you can trust. Dream Style, a company name that's been around forever, no one does it better. You need a new roof, you know who to call. Dream Style Roofing tops them all.
Threads is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop. Fish, birds, cats, dogs, reptiles, and small animals. Clark's has built a tradition of friendly, knowledgeable service focused on affordable, quality pet care products and food. Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations for all your pet needs, including an extensive selection of gifts for both owners and pets. 11200 Manal Northeast or 4914 Lomas Northeast. Clark's Pet Emporium is celebrating 50 years. Thank you, Albuquerque, the Pet Supply Superstore. ClarksPets.com.
TurboThreads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sport shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. TurboThreads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for TurboThreads.
The energy landscape is limitless and ever-changing. Cleaner energy resources are crucial to New Mexico's environment. For 100 years, PNM has utilized cutting-edge technology and employed hard-working New Mexicans to ensure that we have consistent, reliable energy when we need it. For life's loudest moments, quietest moments, and every moment in between. We're dedicated to providing you with energy now and into the future. All you have to do is dream of what to do with it next.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of
The Sports Animal.
Welcome back, Duke City. You're listening to 2 Men On 95.9 FM and AM 610, The Sports Animal. We wouldn't be here without our friends and sponsors and partners in the community, Mikey. And one of them is the YMCA, and we're so proud to be linked up with them for everything that they do for the Albuquerque community. And like, it's legit the most underrated gym or gyms in town. So big shout out to the YMCA. You know the boys start their days at the YMCA. Another special edition of Van and Friends. And now we got OG friend of the show, day oneer, voice of the Lobos, Rob Portnoy. What's happening, my dude?
Hey, Van. How are you, buddy? It's great being with you.
Doing good, man. I have a lot of fun. Got a lot of heavy hitters coming on the show today, so happy to talking to the friends of the show. And I think you'd be batting in the 3 hole right now. if we had heavy hitters. So you definitely get to hit every inning, the first inning out. Speaking of hitting, Albuquerque's very own Alex Bregman helped the Astros run up 21 runs today against the White Sox. Bregman had 2 doubles and 2 homers. So special little Alex Bregman Albuquerque update. But we're not here to talk Alex Bregman. We're not here to talk about my beloved Houston baseball Astros. We're here to talk about Lobo football.
We should drop in that when they had their Uvalde Day, he's the one that delivered the homer that they'd promised.
Oh, you are so right.
Yes. So anyway, Alex, his season did not get off to a good start, but he is on fire right now.
Yeah, 21 runs. That's bonkers. That doesn't happen very often. And, of course, I was busy all day working, and I didn't get to watch an Astros day game, and we all know how much I love day baseball. One thing that's been happening every day is Lobo football practice. How are the boys looking? What's the vibe at camp right now?
So they literally just wrapped up. I believe today was day 12 of camp, and things are starting to take shape.
Nice.
Been out there every day, Van, and I'll tell you, like, your boy Mikey V. Vitale, he was like trying to get this skinny. Oh, he's like, who's going to be the starting quarterback? And that's the $1 million question right now.
Yeah.
It is such a tight race, man. Like I could throw out, depending on what day you ask me, a different name. So it's literally coming down to the wire. It's not going to be decided until the final scrimmage of camp on Saturday. And then, we'll see what happens. I know Coach G wants to have a decision made if he can after that scrimmage, but he said he would take it into the next week if nobody had, completely separated from the group. So anyway, we'll see. It's exciting. It's fun to watch.
A freak athlete that's in the quarterback group. I noticed on the roster online, Jamar Sanders' position changed from QB to WR.
Yes, I have talked with the young man. Was lucky enough to have lunch with him, and I tell you what, he's going to be exciting.
Yeah.
So everybody can recall last year the staff got its hands on a new toy when Luke Wysong started as a Lobo and as a true freshman because of his speed and his playmaking ability. He got on the field. Like, if you have that, you're going to find your way out of the field. It doesn't matter if you're 18. It doesn't matter. Jamar Sanders has it, and he's going to be out there in some way, shape, or form, and they're going to give him the football. It's really cool. It's fun to watch him, man. He's electric.
And I was privy to this information, but luckily, friend of yours, friend of mine, friend of the show, Brandon Ortega, clued me in today that there's going to be 2 Wysongs in the receiver group next year.
Evan is coming along, and I don't want to get into this like the inner workings of this battle, because I'm sure that ultimately, and the family's unbelievable. First of all, the family's amazing. It's a UNM family, UNM athletics family, top to bottom. They are incredible. But I have, from those who have watched both of their high school careers, some of the observers whose opinions you would say are educated because of the empirical data that they've accumulated, Evan might be even better. How cool would that be? I have no knowledge.
I'm excited. I'm excited to see him this year. I mean, number one, both of them, duh. But Luke Wysong is getting a lot of buzz in the NCAA pundit world that he can be the guy. Do you think our defense is going to key on Wysong so hard that he's not going to be able to do what he's capable of doing, or is he talented enough that it doesn't matter?
Well, they already have. Like, that's not going to be new. Like, before the season was half over last year, everybody that had seen any tape on the Lobos knew that Luke Weissong was the Lobos' most explosive offensive player. Like, that was not a mystery. He will not sneak up on anyone this year. What will be different this year, Van, is that there is more talent overall offensively so that the field doesn't go toward Luke, right? It's like it's the same thing that we're going to see with Kansas City this year on Sundays. Can Travis Kelce still be the man without the field tilting toward Tyreek Hill? And is Patrick Holmes, and I think he is. I still think he is unbelievable, and the Chiefs won't miss a beat. But the question is out there, with this new receiving core, will Mahomes still be as good as he has been because he doesn't have Tyreek Hill, who can take a 5-yard hitch or a slant 90 yards? There's no doubt in my mind the Lobos have other playmakers that will allow Luke to get a little more space this year. I would be shocked if that's not true. The question is, how do they get them the ball, and who is the guy to get them the ball?
So Coach G and Coach Long, they can obviously do it all on the chalkboard, on the dry erase board, but these are defensive-minded guys. This is a defense-first team. This is a defense to fear this year, right? They're finally coming together, year 3 of Coach G. If they can get the offense to keep up with how talented and well-played the defense is going to be, could be a little trouble in the Mountain West, right?
You're speaking my language. I mean, the only thing that could, if the offense figures it out a little, the tough part about this year is that the schedule is just brutal. Like, the Mountain West is really good this year.
Yeah.
It's very top heavy, and those teams are on the Lobos schedule, and it's going to be a meat grinder. But it doesn't mean that the Lobos can't be competitive every weekend if the offense comes around, and that's it. Like, you've hit on it. The defense started to make huge strides last year. They finished top 50 in the country in defense, total defense. That gives you a chance to win games. The offense just had a historically tough season. And if they can put it together even a little bit this year to where the defense is on the field all the time and just figure out a way to score a little bit, the team will be competitive because the defense is going to keep the Lobos in games. It could be, you hope. The turn the corner cliche is a tough one, and I hate to put that on this year's team, but this team will make strides. This is a 5-year project. It is. This year's team will make strides, and it will be exciting to watch, I promise.
I'm looking at the schedule right now. Are your Lobo football going to go into Baton Rouge 3-0?
That means beating Boise. That's a tall ask. I mean, it really is. It would be incredible. Let me say this. If the Lobos want to get where they want to go, and I'm not saying they can't if this doesn't happen, right? But if the goal is bowl eligibility, and I think that always is the first goal, and then the next, of course, after that is to win the 5th conference title. But if bowl eligibility is the goal, the Lobos must come out of their non-conference schedule. They must go 3-1 in those games. It's imperative that they figure out a way to win, the rivalry game, the opener against Maine, and then somehow, they've got a score to settle with UTEP, and they got to beat the Miners. And somehow figure that out, and that's tough because that means you're doing some stuff on the road too. So anyway, but that's important. Given the Boise win, it'd be incredible. That would just be incredible. Do that. What's that? Week 2? That would be unbelievable.
Rob, we're up against it right here, but I got one more for you. Who has impressed you the most at camp? Who is a name that we might not have been talking about 2 weeks ago that we're talking about now?
Wow. So the the singular performance that has stood out most over 12 days of training camp came on Saturday this past weekend in the first full scrimmage, 100-plus plays in the stadium, and it was Christian Washington, an unrecruited true freshman, number 22 in the red. The offense wears the cherry. This kid did some things on the field that we haven't seen on the turf at University Stadium probably since Terrion Gibson. And again, it was just in a scrimmage, and he's a true freshman, but he's a talented running back, and I have no idea how he isn't at a Pac-12 school. We are so lucky to have him, and he's going to have an incredible career here. And he's not even one on our depth chart as a true freshman. Nate Jones is unbelievable and will make his name this year. You can book that if he stays healthy. But Christian Washington is the guy who stood out on Saturday.
You heard it right there. Voice of the Lobos, Rob Portnoy. Really excited to talk football with you all year and see the progression of the Lobo football and Coach G, what we have in store all year. Hey, thanks for being a friend, and thanks for being a friend of the show, Rob.
Anytime, man. You got it.
Hey, talk to you soon, brother. When we get back, KRQE's Van Tate will join us talking sports. You're listening to Two Men On 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
This report is sponsored by eBay Motors. You might not have the...
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Dream Style Roofing tops them all. When your roof's worn out and needs to be replaced, we're gonna do it right, put a smile on your face. They're at home, things are looking up when you get your roof done by someone you can trust. Dream Style, a company name that's been around forever. No one does it better. You need a new roof, you know who to call. Dream Style Roofing tops them all.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop. Fish, birds, cats, dogs, reptiles, and small animals. Clark's has built a tradition of friendly, knowledgeable service focused on affordable, quality pet care products and food. Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations for all your pet needs, including an extensive selection of gifts for both owners and pets. 11200 Manal Northeast or 4914 Lomas Northeast. Clark's Pet Emporium is celebrating 50 years. Thank you, Albuquerque, the pet supply superstore. ClarksPets.com.
TurboThreads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sport shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. TurboThreads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for TurboThreads.
The energy landscape is limitless and ever-changing. Cleaner energy resources are crucial to New Mexico's environment. For 100 years, PNM has utilized cutting-edge technology and employed hard-working New Mexicans to ensure that we have consistent, reliable energy when we need it. For life's loudest moments, quietest moments, and every moment in between. We're dedicated to providing you with energy now and into the future. All you have to do is dream of what to do with it next.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Dream style roofing tops them all. When your roof's worn out and needs to be replaced, we're gonna do it right, put a smile on your face. There at home, things are looking up when you get your roof done by someone you can trust. Dream Style, a company name that's been around forever. No one does it better. You need a new roof, you know who to call. Dream Style Roofing tops them all.
Of the best van in sports entertainment in Albuquerque, and Van Tate got first and second place.
Oh wow!
I got the bronze, and there's not even another van. I got third place. There's only 2 of us.
Oh man, that's pretty funny.
Okay, what's going on, Van? What's going on in your world lately?
Man, we're just trying to gear up for football, man. You know, me, Jared, and Brad, we got so much stuff going on, man. Just running by the seat of our pants as always. We got it down, just like the 2-minute offense, man.
High school football starts literally tonight. What from the first weekend, which matchup are you most excited for?
I want to see that La Cueva and Rio Rancho game.
Boom.
That's going to be our game of the week on Friday Night Football tomorrow night at 11:05. So just to let you guys know, Friday Night Football, 11:05 tomorrow night, man, join us. We're going to have as much high school as we can get in there, man.
So everyone knows Cleveland's on top. Everyone knows Rio Rancho's going to be great. Who's your dark horse this year? Who do you see making noise outside of the normal favorites?
Well, I think their first year in 6A, I think Los Lunas might shake it up a little bit, man. They're tough.
Yeah, I'm hearing good things about Los Lunas as well.
Yeah, I think they're going to rattle some cages, man. I think this is going to be interesting, man. It's going to be fun. It's going to be really fun. 6A is going to be interesting this year. Cleveland, they'll probably just do what they do because, kind of you look at the Patriots, Belichick had that thing going, they just do what they do. Rio Rancho, those schools like that, they already have a touchdown before they even get on the field, man, with tradition, So
So they're going to be tough. I'm curious to see what happens at West Mesa with Landry Brody taking over there and, having his son, who was a very capable quarterback at Cleveland, come and run the offense.
Isotope fan favorite last year, MVP candidate this year. Our dude, Wynton Bernard, got called up. He's showing that he's supposed to be there. 4 for his first 14, 3 runs, a ribby, 2 steals, batting .286. How proud are you for this guy?
Man, I'm really proud of Wynton, man. I've known that family a long time. His brother, Walter, was a Lobo defensive back, and he also was a KRQE intern.
Oh.
And so to watch Wynton when he was a little boy come up to now and see this happen for him, this has been exciting, man. This has been fun. And he deserves it, man. That guy, he did everything. I'm not sure. He may have also done this, drive the team bus. I don't know, man.
Sure.
He did everything.
New Mexico United with a tough loss on Wednesday, but got a good match on Saturday. I think they bounced back on Saturday. What do you think's going on with the black and yellow?
I think they just hit a little bit of a rough patch, man. They got some really good pieces on that team, and I think maybe while they're trying to figure it all out, maybe there's just a little hiccup there. And then once they get it rolling, man, when they get it rolling like they want to get it, they're going to be hard to stop because they have a lot of talent on this team.
Van, when's the next time you're on air, and what are you going to be talking about?
I'm going to be on air on Fox New Mexico at 6:52 today. And all day, we're going to be on again at 9 and 10 on Channel 13 on KRQE. But we're going to be talking about, of course, Lobo football, high school football, and the Bare Knuckles Fighting Championship.
Ooh.
Yeah, the main event. We're going to be talking a little bit about that. And then, Alex Bregman had himself a day today.
Yeah,
we're going to be talking about that for sure.
My beloved Houston baseball Astros rung up 21 runs on the White
Sox. They
Sox.
out there putting hands on people, man.
It's going to be rough. I love this stretch of baseball, and obviously I'm a baseball dork. I'm excited for the playoffs. We're up against it right now, but let's do a quick little playoff prediction. Besides the favorites, who do you see making noise down the end of the stretch run and in the playoffs this year?
Oh, in baseball?
Yeah, baseball.
And which division?
Oh, any you pick. Let's say no Astros, no Yankees, no Dodgers, no Mets. Who else do you see is going to make noise?
You just eliminated pretty much all of the top teams, man. One team you did say is the Seattle Mariners. I just don't. They've been tough when they need to be, and then they get tough and then they fall back. So I think there'll be a team that people need to look out for. And also, you left out last year's champs. You didn't say anything about the Braves. We can't leave them out. And the Cardinals are the Cardinals. They're like roaches. You can't kill them. Every year in the postseason, St. Louis is always around. And I know you mentioned the Dodgers in your teams that you expect to do well, but those are some teams that you didn't mention that I think they might have a say in all of this.
The Mariners are kind of scary because they're like too young and dumb. Like they don't know that they're supposed to be nervous yet, right?
Yeah, and that's what's making them scary because you look out there at some of their games, and you're going like, man, how are they doing this? And because a lot of the other teams, you see all the big names, and to give the Seattle Mariners some credit, they got a former Lobo leading them in batting average. Man, Sam Haggerty's been killing it.
Yeah, they're amazing. They're fun to watch, man. It's so cool. I know everyone. I know every friend of the show is already watching you, is already following you. But let's say there's one person out there that doesn't know where to find you. Where do they catch you on air? Where do they catch you online, Van?
Online, KRQE.com. On air, Fox New Mexico at 6 and 9 on Fox New Mexico. Then on KRQE, News 13 at 10. And then, most importantly for this week, Friday Night Football. Boom. Fox New Mexico at 11:05 p.m. me, myself, Jared Chester, and Bradley Benson. We got you guys hooked up, man.
The legend, Van Tate. Thanks for being a friend. Thanks for being a friend of the show.
Thanks for having me.
Talk to you soon. When we come back,
man.
our NBA insider, Izzy Gonzalez. You're listening to Two Men On 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal.
This report is sponsored by Staples Store.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Dream style roofing tops them all. When your roof's worn out and needs to be replaced, we're gonna do it right, put a smile on your face. There at home, things are looking up when you get your roof done by someone you can trust. Dream Style, a company name that's been around forever. No one does it better. You need a new roof, you know who to call. Dream Style Roofing tops them all.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop. Fish, birds, cats, dogs, reptiles, and small animals. Clark's has built a tradition of friendly, knowledgeable service focused on affordable, quality pet care products and food. Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations for all your pet needs, including an extensive selection of gifts for both owners and pets. 11200 Manal Northeast or 4914 Lomas Northeast. Clark's Pet Emporium is celebrating 50 years. Thank you, Albuquerque, the Pet Supply Superstore. ClarksPets.com.
TurboThreads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sport shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. TurboThreads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for TurboThreads.
The energy landscape is limitless and ever-changing. Cleaner energy resources are crucial to New Mexico's environment. For 100 years, PNM has utilized cutting-edge technology and employed hard-working New Mexicans to ensure that we have consistent, reliable energy when we need it. For life's loudest moments, quietest moments, and every moment in between. We're dedicated to providing you with energy now and into the future. All you have to do is dream of what to do with it next.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, backed by by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot. It's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Then on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Welcome back, Albuquerque. Once again, you're listening to Two Men On 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal. Fred's out on assignment, so we got a special Van and Friends episode today. And we got an OG friend of the show here now, former correspondent and co-host of ABQ Central, writer for CBS Sports and SB Nation, Two Men On's basketball insider, Isabel Izzy Gonzalez. What's happening, girl?
Hey, how's it going? Always a pleasure to be back.
Good, good. How you been? Wait, what far-flung land are you in now covering basketball? Where could you possibly be?
I am in the land of California. Not sure if you've heard of it, but it's pretty nice here. We have a beach.
Oh, you do? Okay, yeah, we have mountains.
There's mountains here too, but I gotta say, Albuquerque sunsets are really the best. Like, no matter what, I love the ocean, but Albuquerque sunsets are just incredible.
So LeBron James got PAID, paid, set a record for all-time earnings in the NBA. He said he just wants to win. All he wants to do is win. And you hear him complain about the front office not getting enough help, but he's kind of the front office, right? There's no one to blame but himself. Should he have taken less money to surround himself with more talent?
I mean, at this point, you got to think LeBron James, he's kind of the face of the NBA. So it makes sense that he's the most well-paid player. Right now, he just passed Kevin Durant, which I'm sure we'll be talking about later. But this made sense, just the way the deal turned out. Of course, he got paid a lot. But just the whole 2-year deal and then having that player option later, it's about winning and about money, but it's also going to be about his son, Ronnie, because he's going to be eligible for the 2024 NBA draft. So that's a pretty smart move on his part, and the Lakers know that LeBron, yes, he wants to win, he likes the Lakers, but also he wants to play with his son. So that's going to be pretty cool. For now, this means the Lakers really just have 2 years to get the best out of the can, out of LeBron and Anthony Davis. So we'll see if they can do something this next 2 years.
I mean, this is unprecedented in NBA history. A father playing with his son. So whoever gets Bronny gets LeBron James. It's like the sweetest 2-for-1 deal in the history of basketball.
It really is. If it were me, I would be tanking all of 2023.
Who do you see being able to draft Bronny? Is his skill set so strong that he's going to be a top pick, a top 5 pick, a lottery pick, or is he going to fall? Is it just completely in the air? We don't know where he's going to land.
At this point, I don't think we really know, just because it is a little bit too early. But he is pretty good. He and his younger brother were playing in Europe this summer, and that was the first time they played together on the same team. So LeBron James was really happy about that. But Ronnie has kind of developed a little bit more as the years go by, which is completely normal. You know, a lot of prospects just get better as they get closer to college. Nothing weird there. But he's been compared to his dad a lot when it comes to a lot of things. And I think the latest one was how he dunks. So he's very powerful, very athletic. I think he's going to be really good. Obviously, there's that extra pressure of LeBron James being your dad. So he's been handling it really well.
I see him. I mean, everything I've read about Bronny is he projects as like a top 20-ish, 15-ish, 20-ish kind of talent. But again, this is 2 years away. Like, he could turn into his father in 2 years and be that number one, like, overall talent, right?
Yeah, I think 24/7 Sports, which is part of CBS, he's currently in the top 50. He is, or for the class of 2023. He's 49th at the moment, but there's nothing saying he's not going to get better. Like right now, he's doing really well. I think he's improving every single year. So I see him doing a little bit more than that. I believe the composite score is he's ranking 43, so he's going to be in the 30s probably, maybe 20s, depending on how he does next year. But he's still young, and no matter what, I mean, that's a great deal, like you said, getting him and his dad. So any NBA team's going to want that, even just for ticket sales, if you think about it.
So maybe there's a possibility with LeBron signing this huge contract that he knows that there might be some money off the books, i.e. Russell Westbrook gets moved. Maybe there's a deal in the works already. Let's talk about that, and let's talk about Kevin Durant. And I'd like to cover one of your stories that you recently told me about when we get back. When we get back, more Izzy Gonzalez and more Two Men On. You're listening to 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
When they bite. No bars like the sentencing was light. You can feel it when we enter, cut the tension with the knife.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Dream Style Roofing tops them all. When your roof's worn out and needs to be replaced, we're gonna do it right, put a smile on your face. They're at home, things are looking up when you get your roof done by someone you can trust. Dream Style, a company name that's been around forever, no one does it better. You need a new roof, you know who to call. Dream Style Roofing tops them all.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop. Fish, birds, cats, dogs, reptiles, and small animals. Clark's has built a tradition of friendly, knowledgeable service focused on affordable, quality pet care products and food. Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations for all your pet needs, including an extensive selection of gifts for both owners and pets. 11200 Manal Northeast or 4914 Lomas Northeast. Clark's Pet Emporium is celebrating 50 years. Thank you, Albuquerque, the pet supply superstore. ClarksPets.com.
Turbo Threads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sport shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. Turbo Threads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for Turbo Threads.
The energy landscape is limitless and ever-changing. Cleaner energy resources are crucial to New Mexico's environment. For 100 years, PNM has utilized cutting-edge technology and employed hard-working New Mexicans to ensure that we have consistent, reliable energy when we need it. For life's loudest moments, quietest moments, and every moment in between. We're dedicated to providing you with energy now and into the future. All you have to do is dream of what to do with it next.
Now betting for the sports animal, your afternoon drive. Number 2, Men On, Van Nunley and Fred Slow. And in the on-deck circle, Robert Buck D. Gibson.
This is 2 Men On with Van Nunley and Fred Slow.
2 hours in the books, 1 hour to go, Albuquerque. You're listening to 2 Men On 95.9 FM and AM 610, The Sports Animal. We are live from the John Lopez Real Estate and Coldwell Banker Legacy Studio. Hold on, the intro to this song kind of got me bummed out, Vital. It threw me off my vibe. Does it pick up a little bit? Is it picking up the pace right now?
Well,
okay, here we go.
too late.
Here we go. We are powered by New Mexico Pinon Coffee. We play on Team I-9. We start our days at the YMCA. We finish our days at Hollow Spirits. Monday Night Football with the boys is at Howie's Sports Page. And every weekend and every time we're up at the lab, we're sipping on that watermelon walk-off by Teller Vodka, New Mexico's vodka. It's a Fredless episode up here, but you got your boy Van, and I brought some friends with me. Shout out to everyone that's already joined the program today. Had a lot of fun with it, and we're going to continue in the last hour. Continuing our conversation from last segment, we have former co-host and correspondent for the famed program ABQ Central, which eventually evolved into what you're listening to right now, 2 Men On, basketball insider, writer for SB Nation and CBS Sports, Isabel Izzy Gonzalez. What's going on in Izzy's world lately?
Oh, lots of basketball. Yes.
All things basketball. So we were talking LeBron James before the break, and I think I have an idea. I think I know why LeBron was willing to take the max, was willing to make more money and set the record for career earnings in the NBA. And I have a theory that it's because they're going to shed some salary soon, i.e. trade Russell Westbrook. Do you think there's something in the works already, or is this like the first domino that Russell's on his way out?
So there are a lot of talks about that. You're not very far off from there. I believe, who was it? Tim Bontemps from ESPN. He was talking about that potentially being, like you said, that first domino, because he took all that money, and that means, cap space is going to be reduced. You're going to have to deal with that next summer. So, yeah, it could very well happen. And it's not like the Lakers have been, super happy with Westbrook. So we'll see how that goes, but this could very much mean that. He's not a player that the Lakers could possibly build around. Of course, it's going to be more about LeBron James and Anthony Davis. So, yeah, this could mean he could be out, but I guess we'll have to wait and see.
A hot trade market this year, a lot of speculation. The biggest prize being, where is Kevin Durant going? Personally, I think the Nets would be foolish to move Kevin Durant, because I don't think any team can give them a Kevin Durant size return. Where do you envision Kevin Durant ending up, and can a team pay a Kevin Durant ransom for him?
See, I've been looking forward to talking to you about this all day, because that's just been a bunch of drama. So the Celtics are the favorites right now, and they have offered a package. I believe they offered a package with Jaylen Brown, Derek White, and a draft pick, but the Nets reportedly turned it down. And they also haven't really engaged in, I believe they said it was real discussions of substance, but that doesn't mean they're out of, talks yet. There are a couple other teams. I think initially KD said he was looking at the Suns and Miami. The Suns are still very much a favorite as well, but they are not a desperate team. Right now, they have a very solid group, and the Suns are just, they would be happy either way because they already have a pretty solid team for next season. So, yeah, I think the Celtics are, that would be my pick at the moment. The thing is, the Nets do not want to trade KD because, yes, there is a huge price tag on him right now. And he does have that 4-year contract, but KD wants to be traded. So there's been rumors about him asking the owner to, trade him, or he might not be part of training camp. And then there's also, I don't know how much you follow those rumors, but he also kind of gave the owner an ultimatum, and he either gets traded or the owner fires head coach Steve Nash and general manager Sean Marks, which it's huge. Yes, it's huge to be asking that. KD has not confirmed it himself. There have been rumors and, sources and all of that with a bunch of different reporters saying that. So he is creating that sort of environment where it's almost like forcing the Nets to really consider more of that trade.
And I think it's kind of foolish for him to try to fire the GM and the coach that he literally handpicked. Like, what was wrong with these guys now that wasn't wrong with them 2 years ago? This is your choice, Kevin. Also in the trade market, Donovan Mitchell is being floated around, and he's going to have to be a hard guy to get your hands on as well, because he's probably just a shade less expensive than Kevin Durant in the trade market. If the Jazz already got rid of Rudy Gobert, and then congratulations on the Utah Jazz, they absolutely fleeced the T-Wolves. Gobert's a great player, but he's not 5 first-round picks and young players good. What are the Jazz doing? Why don't they blow it up and get rid of Mitchell as well and start it all over again?
I do feel like they're going to probably let him go because he has very openly expressed that he wants to play for New York. So at that point, if your player is asking for a specific place, that makes it, more difficult. So I don't imagine they're going to keep him for much longer.
Can you envision like a 3-way trade that sends Kevin Durant out and brings Donovan Mitchell in? You probably have to add another partner, add another pieces, but has this been talked about?
I believe I heard something about the Pelicans, something like that. I am not the greatest with contracts and all of that. But yes, this could be very messy because really the Utah Jazz were the ones who caused all the chaos when it comes to trades as soon as they got rid of Rudy Gobert. So this has been, chaotic kind of summer. But yeah, right now I feel like anything's on the table. Donovan Mitchell very open about wanting to go to New York. Kevin Durant very open about wanting to leave the Nets. So at this point, anything can happen. I don't feel like there's any super set conversations on either of those guys, but there's definitely going to be some moves.
Everybody's talking about LeBron James, Kevin Durant, Donovan Mitchell. What else is really moving the meter in NBA offseason talk?
The schedule just got released, so that was a really fun moment. Teams get very creative when it comes to that stuff. So pretty much that, and the matchups that are going to be that you're pretty much going to be having to circle on your calendar. So that's the first thing I did yesterday. Just look at which ones I'm definitely going to be not missing out. And yeah, it's going to be fun. Lakers start with the Warriors on October 18th,
Boom.
Which is going to be fun. Obviously, Warriors have been really strong, but always a fun matchup, just, 2-star franchises. And that's the game where Curry is going to get his 4th championship ring. So he'll be matching LeBron James' number of rings.
Right.
So in a way, that's
LeBron's
a special type of game. For sure. And then since we were talking about trades, you also look at the Pelicans and Nets facing each other on October 19th. So, depending on how all the trades go, that could also be really interesting. But we won't know that until, a couple more weeks or months.
Izzy, what else are you covering? What new stories do you have coming out soon?
So I just published a story on South Carolina women's basketball team. So I had talked to you about that a little bit earlier today. and that one was pretty cool. So whether or not you follow South Carolina, it's an interesting story because it shows for all of those who don't follow college women's basketball, they're the top team in the nation, and they're very scary. They're very dominant. Win the championship without really any struggle against UConn, which is the team that everybody knows, women's basketball related. But South Carolina does this really cool thing in the summer that is called Final Four Fridays. So every single Friday, they do all these workouts that have to do with the Final Four. But the theme is getting to the Final Four, which means they do things like setting up 4 bicycles and having to register the number of miles that it's going to take to get to whatever city the Final Four is going to be. They do little scavenger hunts that have themes based on the teams they're going to be facing throughout the season. So I thought that was really cool for a program to be so set on winning and so set into reaching that final weekend of the NCAA tournament that they start in the summer.
That's a great story. Speaking of stories, how do the loyal listeners, how do the friends of the show find you on air and online?
So if you head to CBS Sports, you'll be finding a lot of my stuff. I'm on the trending desk, so I do a lot of stuff. Any kind of sport, I guess, but of course, mostly basketball. So yeah, you can go to CBS Sports, check out everybody's content because there's a lot of great writers there. Or you could follow me on Twitter at @CIsabelG.
Isabel Izzy Gonzalez, basketball insider. Thanks so much for your time, and thanks for being a friend of the show.
Of course, always fun to be here. Thank you.
All right, talk to you soon. When we get back, ex-NFL coach and ex-Lobo quarterback, we go from our basketball insider to our football insider. Friend of the show, Ned James, sitting in with us for not one but 2 segments. We talking some NFL football. When we get back, you're listening to 2 Men On 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Betting for the Sports Animal, your afternoon drive. Number 2, Men On, Van Nunley and Fred Slow.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Dream Style Roofing tops them all. When your roof's worn out and needs to be replaced, we're gonna do it right, put a smile on your face. They're at home, things are looking up when you get your roof done by someone you can trust. Dream Style, a company name that's been around forever, no one does it better. You need a new roof, you know who to call. Dream Style Roofing tops them all.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop. Fish, birds, cats, dogs, reptiles, and small animals. Clark's has built a tradition of friendly, knowledgeable service focused on affordable, quality pet care products and food. Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations for all your pet needs, including an extensive selection of gifts for both owners and pets. 11200 Manal Northeast or 4914 Lomas Northeast. Clark's Pet Emporium is celebrating 50 years. Thank you, Albuquerque, the Pet Supply Superstore. ClarksPets.com.
Turbo Threads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sport shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. Turbo Threads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for Turbo Threads.
The energy landscape is limitless and ever-changing. Cleaner energy resources are crucial to New Mexico's environment. For 100 years, PNM has utilized cutting-edge technology and employed hard-working New Mexicans to ensure that we have consistent, reliable energy when we need it. For life's loudest moments, quietest moments, and every moment in between. We're dedicated to providing you with energy now and into the future. All you have to do is dream of what to do with it next.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the front.
Welcome back to the program, Duke City. You're listening to Two Men On 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal. New Mexico Pinon and Locker 505 are doing a really cool thing together right now. As you know, Locker 505 is a clothing bank that helps clothe kids in the Albuquerque and surrounding area communities, and they need your donations. They're helping thousands of kids a year show up to school with dignity and respect, and helping them have their education go swimmingly like we all want the children of Albuquerque to have. So if you have some new or gently used clothing items, take it to New Mexico Pinon Coffee House. When you take it to the next New Mexico Pinon Coffee House and you throw it in their donation box, or you hand it to the lovely people at New Mexico Pinon Coffee House in the drive-thru, they will give you 10% off your order. Not just like one cup of coffee, 10% off. Like whatever order you want. Whether it's coffee in bulk or merch or case after case after case of my favorite, the dark roast Pinon, which I have almost every morning of my life. They'll give you 10% off. And then they'll do you one better. If you donate and put your donation or whatever items you purchased on your favorite social media and tag New Mexico Pinon and tag Locker 505, they'll give you 25% off your order. That's a great deal. And they'll do you even one better. If you donate while the boys are at New Mexico Pinon Coffee House, which we will be once a week, for hopefully eternity, who knows, we'll just give you free stuff. We'll just give you coffee. We'll give you swag. We'll give you merch. So get your clothing items together, new or gently used clothing items for the youth of Albuquerque, because Locker 505 is doing amazing things for the community, and they need your help. Speaking of needing help, I need help, Vital. I need help with my NFL hot takes. And if I need that knowledge and that wisdom and them hot takes in the NFL, there's only one guy for the job, my friend. And that's friend of the show, friend in real life, ex-Lobo quarterback, ex-NFL head coach, and just an awesome dude, Ned James. Welcome to the program, my man.
Hey, Van, how you doing, man? Thanks for having me on again today.
Doing good, doing good. Always a pleasure. So are you back in town, or is the whirlwind adventure over? Like you're finally back in Albuquerque?
Yeah, back in the bouquet.
Nice.
Spent a lot of time in California this summer. Had a lot of things going on, so it's good to be back. School starting next week, so back hitting the ground running. Got out to watch some practices, so kind of updated on the Lobo football team.
Nice.
And my NFL stuff. I kind of watched a lot of NFL, talked to a lot of NFL guys while I was out in LA. So it's good, and I'm ready, set, hike, ready to go.
What's your impression of Coach G and the Lobos? What you've seen so far?
Well, what I've seen so far, these guys. I wanted to come in. I was talking to Portnoy at practice the other day, and I said, "Hey, look, I'm coming in with a fresh look on the team. I haven't seen them. They've been through camp. This is the second week." And so, these are the dog days. The legs are tired. Legs are heavy. Guys are a little ornery. Guys are talking about their backs being sore and all those kind of things. So I wanted to get kind of a fresh perspective. I didn't really want to have any preconceived notions of who was good, who wasn't good. And just to get out there and watch them, the offensive line, I always start with the line. I always say the line is the hub of the team. Everybody else is just the spokes. You got to start up front. And I've been impressed with the offensive line. I guess compared to last year, because it was, they just were really hitting on all cylinders for the last 2 years, really. And this line now looks like it's a little bit more athletic, bigger, more physical. And so it starts there. Now, as far as the other perimeter positions, that's going to take some time. I think I'm going to get a better idea maybe after the scrimmage Saturday, maybe watching next week sometime. I'll get a better idea of, who's who and what they're going to do. They've had some guys out and so forth on the skill positions. So, and they're young on the back end on defense. So it'll be interesting to see how that all, other than Jarek Reed, how that all turns out. But it's going to be fun. It'll be fascinating. They got a hell of a schedule, and I'm excited to see how this all turns out. The quarterback position is going to be interesting to see how that develops. I've got my ideas about what I think that should look like. And I'll let you guys know that in the coming weeks.
Okay, because that was literally going to be my next question, what your perspective was on the quarterback battle for the Lobos. Let's move on from the Lobos to quarterback battles in the NFL, and let's start with the Steelers. There is no dominant top-shelf quarterback in Pittsburgh, but they got 3 guys who should be able to start NFL games. It looks like Trubisky is in the lead so far. Who do you have your eye on? Who do you think deserves that gig?
It's the old saying, if you got 3 quarterbacks, it means you don't have one.
Boom.
So it doesn't really matter who the starting quarterback is, because whoever that guy is, it's a tremendous amount of pressure taking over for a guy who's won a couple Super Bowls. So whoever that guy is, it's never going to be enough unless he wins the Super Bowl. So, depending on what they need, how they view themselves, Tomlin's a defensive guy. Is he going to go conservative at quarterback? Is he going to go, hey, let's just roll the dice and go with the young guy and see where it goes with us? So it all depends on the head coach's attitude. Like I've always said, even with the Lobo head coach, people like to talk about the coordinators, but, it's Danny Gonzalez is the offensive coordinator. He's the defensive coordinator. He's the special teams coordinator.
Yeah.
Mike Tomlin is the defensive coordinator, the offensive coordinator. So it's depending on the head coach is how you determine who's going to win these quarterback battles, because it's the head coach's, it's kind of his philosophy on how he believes that position should be played that will determine who starts at quarterback.
Yeah. I'm kind of a Mitch Trubisky apologist. I always thought that he was better than he showed on the field, and he had the misfortune of going to a Bears team in shambles. And I think that same thing can be said for both Baker Mayfield and Sam Darnold. If Baker didn't have to start off in Cleveland and Darnold didn't have to start off for the Jets, we might have different perceptions of these guys. What does where you go have to do with your development, and do you think Baker should get the first shot at the gig?
It's the old adage, what came first, the chicken or the egg?
Yep.
Is it the coach or is it the player that makes it great? Is it Tom Brady or is it Bill Belichick? Which one is it? Who is the guy who determines whether that team wins, and who is the guy who determines how well the guy develops? If you talk to most fanboys who kiss Tom Brady's cheek on kiss his dimple on his chin on their poster on the wall, they'll tell you that it's Tom Brady. But they don't realize that he had to be developed. And having a coach like Belichick as the head coach and having that rigid, strict culture that they had in New England, even though they cheat, it really helped Tom the Cheater Brady. It helped those guys develop. So it just really depends. I've always liked Baker because, I worked with him up there in Cleveland, so I kind of knew him a little bit. I always thought he was really smart. He's tough, and what's even more important, he's a hard worker. And those things go far. I didn't like the little entitlement stuff. I kind of even told him a little bit about it, about being a Hollywood guy. Kind of looked at me funny when I told him that. But, he's going to have to learn. But he's going to be good. And Sam Darnold, you can't really make these excuses a lot of times that it's the coach's fault. At some point, you got to show up. And it's hard to win an NFL game. It's even harder to win a playoff game. And so, Baker's won a playoff game.
Sure.
And so you can't take it away from him. And these guys that are competing for jobs, is it the coach's fault? Is it the system's fault? Is it they played in snow? Is it they had a bad offensive line? You can always use these excuses, but everybody's got good players, and it's hard to win games. And unfortunately, the quarterback gets too much credit when you win and too much blame when you lose. So you got to really, it's really kind of hard to tell. In these quarterback competitions, which guy really deserves to be the starter, but it really comes down to the philosophy of sometimes it's the head coach, sometimes it's management, sometimes it's the owner. So you just never know.
When we get back, I want to talk Deshaun Watson and his suspension, but now I want to ask you about Jacoby Brissett. Is he enough for a talented Cleveland Browns roster to stay over the hump until they get this very talented quarterback and pervert back?
We'll see. He's the starter now, so you've got to win some games. He's not the backup. He's the starter because I think what I've heard is that he's going to be suspended 11 games.
Yeah.
And so he's not going to come in until the 12th game of the season. So he's essentially the starter for the season. So we're going to see if Jacoby Brissett deserves to be in the NFL. And if not, we'll roll him out. He'll be a backup somewhere else, next year, or he'll be the backup there for the future. But you got to win games. You'll be able to tell the first 3 or 4 games if he's capable of leading this team to wins. Baker Mayfield was able to do it, and Jacoby's been in the league a lot longer than he has. So he should have the tools and be aware and the ability necessary to win games in the NFL. So we'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah, the Browns and Jacoby Brissett have the good favor of having a very soft schedule to start out with. They got the Panthers, the rematch game with Baker, the Jets, the Steelers, and then the Falcons before they start playing a gauntlet of good teams. The Browns might be 4-0 or 3-1 with their backup quarterback. That's kind of.
And if not, then everybody's going to say, "Hey, look, this is a bad quarterback." So, you just don't, you never know. You can't predict these outcomes of these NFL games. You just have to wait and see. And in the first quarter of the season, you got to wait till guys play home games, and they play with all their players. There's injuries involved. There's all kinds of things that go into it. So, you just kind of got to wait and get through that first quarter of the season before you can really kind of make these judgments.
When we get back, more Deshaun Watson talk and more NFL talk with your favorite football analyst in Albuquerque, Mr. Ned James. You're listening to 2 Men On 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
The Opening Drive with Jeff Symbieta and JJ.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Dream Style Roofing tops them all. When your roof's worn out and needs to be replaced, we're gonna do it right, put a smile on your face. They're at home, things are looking up when you get your roof done by someone you can trust. Dream Style, a company name that's been around forever, no one does it better. You need a new roof, you know who to call. Dream Style Roofing tops them all.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop. Fish, birds, cats, dogs, reptiles, and small animals. Clark's has built a tradition of friendly, knowledgeable service focused on affordable, quality pet care products and food. Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations for all your pet needs, including an extensive selection of gifts for both owners and pets. 11200 Manal Northeast or 4914 Lomas Northeast. Clark's Pet Emporium is celebrating 50 years. Thank you, Albuquerque, the pet supply superstore. ClarksPets.com.
Turbo Threads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sport shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. Turbo Threads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for Turbo Threads.
The energy landscape is limitless and ever-changing. Cleaner energy resources are crucial to New Mexico's environment. For 100 years, PNM has utilized cutting-edge technology and employed hard-working New Mexicans to ensure that we have consistent, reliable energy when we need it. For life's loudest moments, quietest moments, and every moment in between. We're dedicated to providing you with energy now and into the future. All you have to do is dream of what to do with it next.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been.
Store. Just search KNML.
Welcome back to the program, Albuquerque. You're listening to 2 Men On. We are live from the John Lopez Real Estate and Coldwell Banker Legacy Studio. We are powered by New Mexico Pinon Coffee. We play on Team I-9. We start our days at the YMCA, and we end our days at Hollow Spirits. Monday Night Football is at Howie's Sports Page with the boys, and whenever we're at the lab, we're sipping on Watermelon Walk-Off by Teller Vodka, New Mexico's vodka. Joining us again, Mr. Ned James, and we're talking a little Deshaun Watson right before we left, so let's put a bow on this one. It was agreed upon at the NFL and NFL Players Association that Deshaun Watson will get a 11-game suspension and a $5 million fine to a charity. It's hard to argue that this isn't the right amount of punishment because they actually agreed to it. It's not just one side deciding what it should be. This is agreed to by the Players Association and the NFL. Ned, in your eyes and your estimation, is this the correct amount of suspension for Deshaun Watson?
My only curiosity is that is this the standard? Are we talking about the integrity of the league? We're talking about morality? Are we talking about what makes old guys feel good? Because we had an owner who got no games, who was criminally charged, who had gone to the same place twice and was on videotape. This guy had 2 grand juries. The grand juries will indict a ham sandwich, would not indict him on any criminal charges. Okay? Then we have a female federal judge who said, okay, man, I'm a woman, not a circuit court judge, not a superior court judge, but a woman. And she said, it's 6 games. But oh, no. Mr. Old Guy, I'm not going to even go with the race thing. I could go there, but I'm not going to go there. Mr. Old Man says, oh, no. We can't have this young guy have just 6 games. We're going to give him 11 games, and we need more money, $5 million. Kraft got $1 million, and he got no games. Now, the NFL says they hold the owners to a higher standard. What are we doing? What are we doing? What are we trying to say here? Whether it's 2 games, whether it's 11 games, what are we talking about? Are we talking about punishment? Or are we talking about the integrity and the hypocrites in the NFL, which are the old guys who run it, the good old boys? You know, the guy doesn't look like them, so we got to punish him harder than we would a guy who looks like us. And we basically have been hypocrites because we said we're holding the owners to a higher standard, and this guy's on wrinkle booty. Robert Kraft is on videotape. You know, and so what do we do? I mean, what are we doing here? Okay, he got 11 games. He should have got 2 games. You know, what are we doing? We had a woman. We're saying this is a woman's issue. We hired this woman to look into it. We said we're going to have a fair and impartial rendering of the punishment. And what do? We let this woman make the decision, and then we say, oh, no. We need an old white man to go over her head. It's almost as if we're in court, and the court says not guilty, and they say, hey, Jethro, go get the rope. They said this old boy is not guilty. We're gonna have our own part of justice out in front of the court. You know, give me a break. I mean, what is the NFL trying to do here? It really reeks to high heaven. You can say it was negotiated by the NFLPA and the owners, but it's absurd. It's a kangaroo court. I mean, what are they paying this $120,000 for this a female federal judge? What was her role? Why did they write her a check? If they're going to do that, they could have did this from the beginning. The NFLPA and Roger could have done this from the beginning. You know, did it take her and say, okay, we're going to split the difference. Okay, it'll make the people happy. We got this guy for 11 games, and we got his money. We're jealous of him making $230 million guaranteed. We'll take his money, and this is how we'll settle this to make everybody think that we really did something.
Yeah, I think you're on to something here. And to a guy who has $230 million, $5 million's a drop in the bucket. The way I see it, this is more of a punishment against the Browns organization for taking on Deshaun Watson and taking on all this drama and going against the grain and going against the status quo and having a sweetheart contract to their quarterback, knowing that he's going to be suspended.
So is it the moral outrage of taking Deshaun Watson, or is it the money? You got to pick one.
Yeah.
You can't say I'm morally outraged or I'm jealous of the money. It's one or the other. I mean, is the NFL is the standard? Hey, Robert Kraft and the New England Cheaters did this. So hey, let's give Robert Kraft an entire year and fine him $50 million because that's nothing to him. Well, they didn't do that. And he was criminally charged, and he's on videotape. This guy, 2 grand juries came back and said, there's nothing here. And grand juries indict ham sandwiches. and this guy, and I understand people are using things like precedent, egregious, predatory. I mean, it's almost like it reeks of hypocrisy in that, you know, Roger Goodell could use those terms of egregious and predatory. And nobody, I've been joking about Robert Kraft for 2 years, and nobody gets upset about it. And that's not egregious and predatory. You think that's the first time the guy's been out with hookers? The first time prostitution sting with human trafficking involved? You think that's the first time Robert Kraft has done something? But yet people are more outraged because they think this guy who's pulling his willie out on a massage table, which is, it's sickening. It's predatory in the way he went about it. But these kids, I'm on campus with these kids that talk about this silly stuff all the time, these rappers, and sliding in DMs and Instagram and all that nonsense. But, I mean, really, are we really, as the adults in the room, going to say, hey, we're outraged at this young man, but we're not outraged at Robert Kraft? That's the only issue I had.
Moving away from Deshaun Watson, and I want to see your predictions. We'll go into it later because I know we're going to be talking NFL all year. But who is your dark horse this year? Who is your team that nobody expects coming? Not the favorites, but somebody that emerges from the middle, somebody that emerges from the bottom. Who should we look out for the rest of the preseason and then the NFL season?
The one always fascinates me are the New England Cheaters. You have to realize people didn't give the Cheaters enough credit last year. They went to the playoffs with a rookie quarterback.
Right.
I did say that Mac Jones would be the better quarterback of all the rookies. I don't really think he is now. I like the kid in New York, but he's gotten hurt. The issue with them is, you could tell that Mac Jones, and I thought the same thing about him, even though they went to the playoffs with him, they drafted a quarterback in the 4th round. Belichick did that for a reason. He knows that quarterback ain't that special. And when you don't have special at quarterback, it's tough. And so New England's one of the teams that really intrigues me. I want to see that New England Green Bay game. I think it's sort of towards the middle of the season. I want to see how that game shapes up as far as that team goes. There's not really anybody. I'm fascinated with the Oompa Loompa, the Munchkin, the Mini-Me getting $230 million. It just blows my mind. And I know JJ gives me a hard time because I'm always on short quarterbacks. But to give a guy that much money, that size, is just incredible to me. So I'm curious to see how they do, the Cardinals, this season as well. But those are probably the 2 teams, I believe, that I kind of want to watch early on in the season, the first part of the season, just to see where they go. Buffalo won the Super Bowl last year. It wasn't the Rams, because you would think that they won the Super Bowl the way people think they've been just aggrieved. They haven't, they should have won last year, and everybody cheated them. It's almost like when the Patriots, everybody thinks, they were robbed because they didn't win. So we'll see how Buffalo does, because everybody's predicted them to do so well. And Brian Daboll is now in New York, and you don't think the coordinators matter. We're going to find out when you have a young rookie coordinator who's never done it before, who's coaching Buffalo. So those are those kind of things I look at. I always like Dallas. I like Dallas's defensive coordinator. If they get that Roquan Smith, I mean, people talk about, the guy's asking for too much money. Only good players ask for too much money.
Sure.
People get jealous of guys asking for money. You only ask for money when you're good. You don't ask for money if you're not a good player. So, it'll be interesting to see, how Dallas does. I still can't get a feel for whether McCarthy and Dak Prescott get along. I knew they got along. Dak got along with Jason Garrett. I just can't get a feel for because I think McCarthy's a really good coach, and I think their defensive coordinator is really, really good as well in Dallas. But I just can't get a feel for the quarterback and the head coach. And until I get that, it has been a couple of years I've been trying to fill out McCarthy. I can't get him and Dak figured out. But I like Dallas because I like McCarthy and I like their defensive coordinator, and so I think they'll do good. But as far as everybody else, my buddy is at the Rams. Eric Yarber, I got to talk to and spend some time with him, over the summer. So I'm excited about them and how they did and how they will do. But another last thing is I'd like to give a shout out to John Clayton. John Clayton is one of the premier NFL journalists. He was a really good friend of mine for years. Worked at ESPN. ESPN's doing a little tribute to him tonight. I've known him for 25. We used to stay up late nights in Seattle when he wrote for the Tacoma Daily News, and became a kind of a rock star on ESPN, and passed away this past year. And so, just a shout out to his wife Patricia and everybody else, and just wanted to acknowledge him and what he's done for NFL and sports journalism.
Ned James, about all the knowledge and the experience you could possibly possess about football. Really appreciate you coming on and really appreciate you contributing to the show. Excited to talk football with you all season, brother.
Yes, we will talk soon. I'll see you soon.
When we get back, voice of the Isotopes, Josh Suchon, joins us, previews the game tonight. You're listening to Two Men On 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Dream style roofing tops them all. When your roof's worn out and needs to be replaced, we're gonna do it right, put a smile on your face. There at home, things are looking up when you get your roof done by someone you can trust. Dream Style, a company name that's been around forever. No one does it better. You need a new roof, you know who to call. Dream Style roofing tops them all.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop. Fish, birds, cats, dogs, reptiles, and small animals. Clark's has built a tradition of friendly, knowledgeable service focused on affordable, quality pet care products and food. Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations for all your pet needs, including an extensive selection of gifts for both owners and pets. 11200 Manal Northeast or 4914 Lomas Northeast. Clark's Pet Emporium is celebrating 50 years. Thank you, Albuquerque, the pet supply superstore. ClarksPets.com.
Turbo Threads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sport shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. Turbo Threads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for Turbo Threads.
The energy landscape is limitless and ever-changing. Cleaner energy resources are crucial to New Mexico's environment. For 100 years, PNM has utilized cutting-edge technology and employed hard-working New Mexicans to ensure that we have consistent, reliable energy when we need it. For life's loudest moments, quietest moments, and every moment in between, we're dedicated to provide.
Had a lot of fun with it. Welcome back to 95.9 FM and AM 610, The Sports Animal. The program in question is 2 Men On. But was it really 2 Men On today? Just kind of. As you had a special edition of Van and Friends today, as we get all kinds of heavy hitters in the Albuquerque sports world to join the program and talk about the State of the Union in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and national sports hot takes. Shout out to KOB's TV's very own Brandon Ortega for joining us. New Mexico United's Tyler Ortega. New Mexico Runners and New Mexico Games, Andres Trujillo. Voice of the Lobos, Rob Portnoy. KRQE's Van Tate. CBS sports writer, NBA insider, Izzy Gonzalez. Ex-Lobo quarterback, ex-NFL coach, Mr. Ned James. And now, your favorite voice in baseball, voice of the Isotopes, Mr. Josh Sushan. What's happening, my dude?
Dude, you had quite the show, man. This was Van and Friends. My goodness.
Heavy hitters today, brother.
Your booker deserves a raise.
That would be me.
That's why I said that. That's why I said that.
I do like to eat. I should pay myself a little more. All right. We won a game yesterday.
Yes, we did. How about
if we
that?
win today, it's called 2 in a row. And if we win again tomorrow, it's called a winning streak. It's happened before. Get a little major league action in here, baby.
Yeah, well, I think that Brandon Gold fed off the 2 men on or the sometimes 1 man on Juju and,
Yeah.
and rode that to a solid outing yesterday. 5 innings, 2 runs. The only runs were on solo homers. And, look, the pitching's been really good and lately. Hasn't been flawless, but it's been good. It's kept them in games and got the victory yesterday. We'll see if Zach Neal can follow that up tonight.
I bet he can. I bet he can. Before we talk Topes, I want to talk an ex-Tope. And while I do miss him, I hope he stays in Denver. Wynton Bernard, getting some playing time, proving that he should be there. How fun is it to watch this guy up there?
Yeah, super fun. I think he's got 3 starts out of the 6 games since he's been called up. Still waiting for him to get a hit that goes outside the infield.
Yeah, sure.
But, so like I'm giggling, when he had 2 hits the other day and I just saw the box score. I was like, yeah, he got 2 hits. And then I searched Twitter for the highlights and I realized they were both infield singles. And I was like, okay. But I also thought, again, let's be realistic about Wynton Bernard. He's having a career year in terms of home runs, but he's not a number 3 hitter, right? This is a guy who's been a leadoff hitter his whole life. And this is a guy whose value is his legs is probably his number 1 tool, right? His ability to go run a ball down in center field, his ability to be a pinch runner late in the game for you and help you win a game that way. And the reason why he hits for a high average is because he puts the ball in play and he can run and he's going to go 100% and he's going to force the defense to make a quick play and he forces the defense into making mistakes at times. That's who he is. That's what he does. And, again, I'm sure that he still can't wait until he, barrels one up and rips one in the gap, and then we can see him go for a double or maybe a triple. I'm excited for him to go to San Francisco this weekend, and, that's a big outfield and, showcase his ability to go get it in the outfield and maybe can put one in that gap in right center and see if he can get a triple or something like that. Bud Black knows him. He's known him for a long time. Bud wasn't scared to put him in there right away, and it gives me even more reason to pay attention to the Rockies.
Speaking of fan favorites in Albuquerque, Albuquerque's very own Alex Bregman and the Houston Astros had a day today. Astros put up 21 runs, and Albuquerque's son, 2 doubles and 2 dongs. Have a day, Alex.
Yeah, I feel like he's been waiting to have one of these for a while, right? I mean, it's not like he's having a bad year, but I think that he was just so good for so while that you just kind of thought okay, he's going to be in the MVP conversation every year, and he's had some injuries and some things like that, and so, but I mean, look, he's certainly capable of it, I was just checking to see how many position players were used in that game on the mound, and I mean, shoot, that Josh Harrison gives up 4 runs, 6 hits in 1 inning, I mean, that's an infielder. You know, it's kind of become. Remember when it was fun when a position player took the mound?
Sure.
Remember that was like a unique thing. And now it's almost like every day it happens.
Yeah, you see, with the collapsed schedule, it seems like, you know, the old school schedule of having 2 days off basically every week, it's down to the 1 day off, and there's so many 13, 14, 15 game stretches now. There's no more clawing your way back from a big deficit. It's almost if teams just throw up their hands and say, all right, who wants to pitch? Who wants to get in there now?
Yeah, I mean, Jason Stark wrote something about this within the last week or so, and you know, I think a lot of times we have these different new rules throughout baseball, and it's unintended consequences, right? And so it was at some point during this season that out of your 26-man roster, 13 have to be pitchers and 13 have to be position players. Before that, a lot of teams were carrying 14 pitchers, and you know, and the idea is, hey, you know, let's bring back the importance of a starting pitcher. Let's see if we can have a starting pitcher go 6 or 7 innings where it matters what the starting pitching matchup is. And that's just not happening. And so what managers are doing more and more often is they're just like, I don't want to – they think so much about tomorrow that they're like, whatever, let's just put this guy on the mound. You know, I mean, shoot, we've seen games where a team was up by 10 runs and they went to a position player in the 9th inning to get the last 3 outs, you know. Again, it used to be fun. I think the specialness is gone from it now, and I don't know if that's going to come back. You know.
Speaking of being on the mound, Zach Neal, old Neely, today. How you think he's pretty excited to pitch at sea level, get out of the mountain air?
Oh yeah, I mean everyone's excited to do that. The other thing about Zach Neal, so he started Friday's game. Had a quick 1-2-3 first inning. Then came the rain. The game was suspended. It was very unusual that he came back and restarted the next day. And I asked him about it, and he said, you know, that he's been waiting so long to kind of, and he was just snapping his fingers as he was telling this to me, you know, like where it just feels good, where it just clicks in. And because he hadn't thrown that many pitches, he wanted to go back out there right away because he felt that in the first inning. And he thought, all right, let me see how the body, you know, comes back from this. You know, and he also said, you know, so much of game day is about, you know, it's such a process, you know, with your long tossing and your stretching and all that. And he just wanted to get back out there immediately and get that feeling that he had again. And he was able to put up 3 total scoreless innings, you know, over the stretch of 2 days. And hopefully he can continue that tonight.
Josh, we're up against it. Who's on the pregame?
Riley Pint. He walked away from baseball, then he returned to baseball. He has rediscovered the joy of playing baseball. And we had a good talk about that. And that's coming up. 7:45 on deck, 8:05 first pitch.
I'm excited to listen to that. I will be on the road listening to all of it. Appreciate you, Josh. Talk to you tomorrow.
All right, sounds good.
Heck of a show today. Appreciate you, Vital. Heck of a job back there dealing with all these calls and interviews. Appreciate Adrian over there at ProView Networks putting us on the telly right now. Shout out to all the guests that I rambled off earlier. And we're going to have a lot of fun with it tomorrow as we are live from the Locker 505 Quiz Night. See you tomorrow, Burke.
Telling it like it is.
So, we would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Dream Style Roofing tops them all. When your roof's worn out and needs to be replaced, we're gonna do it right, put a smile on your face. They're at home, things are looking up when you get your roof done by someone you can trust. Dream Style, A company name that's been around forever. No one does it better. You need a new roof, you know who to call. Dream Style Roofing tops them all.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop. Fish, birds, cats, dogs, reptiles, and small animals. Clark's has built a tradition of friendly, knowledgeable service focused on affordable, quality pet care products and food. Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations for all your pet needs, including